Greetings, comrades. Welcome to All Power to the People podcast on Grown Folks Talking, Express Yourself Internet Radio via the Huddle Team app. We meet every Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We discuss local, national, and global events that impact the material conditions of the people and provide viable solutions. We are here to find those tired of the way their lives are socially constructed. As Panthers, we use dialectic materialism. As Dr. Huey P. Newton stated, power is the ability to define phenomena and make it act in a desired manner. From combating the housing crisis to police patrols, we are the vanguard in place to serve our communities. The purpose of this program is to highlight contradictions in the electoral process, which Western culture calls politics. Politics is the struggle for resources. Participating in America's electoral process has only taken resources from the people and handed it to the oligarchs and the professional managerial class that serve them by maintaining the status quo through coercion. We know that power lies with the people, and it is our duty to organize and educate the community so that they can fight for their own liberation. So please, join us every Sunday at 12 p.m. You can join by downloading the Huddle Team app, join online, or call in. The app and joining online is free, but if you call in, standard messaging rates may apply. Links to the show will be provided in the caption. This is General Secretary Patience of the new African Black Panther Party, NABPP North. All power to the people.
I'm not muted. Can you see? Is my video on?
Yes.
Good. You see what?
Yes, your video is on.
Just wait for that stuff. Move away from the board. You need to take the back pedal, secretary. Turn this way. Turn.
A party that gardens together stays together. This is the People's Garden. We're setting up. From help of our good friend, Sergio, part of the United Panther Movement. The United Panther Movement are those who believe in our 10-point program, which is basically providing services to the community. Free breakfast program, free food program, free health clinic, pig patrols, and we have programs for the kids, after-school programs, summer camps. We do all of this because we understand the importance and the needs of the people. So we're planning the community garden. This is the garden for the people. But we need help. We need help from you guys. So join the United Panther Movement. To learn more, contact General Secretary Patience at 862-283-9917 or email patiencerow@yahoo.com. That is in PATHEROW@yahoo.com. To help support the work we do, please send donations to Cash App, $, I live for the people.
I never put it on.
or Venmo / Zelle at phone number 862-283-9917. This is General Secretary Patience of the New African Black Panther Party, NAB, Keeping North. All power to the people.
Yeah, all power to the people. All power to the people. Welcome to Grown Folk Network, man. Welcome. Everybody welcome. Today we're going to talk about the one story, the only story that should be going on in the city, the only thing everybody should be talking about. We're going to have a discussion about that and what we should do to make sure it doesn't happen anymore or to change the conditions in our community. But welcome here. If this is your first time here, this space is for organizing. We're not here to ask you for money. We're not here to try to sell you nothing. We're not here to entertain you, even though you're going to be entertained, because we learn. Through knowledge, people get entertained. Some people find that entertaining. But I'm still thinking about what happened Friday. But we come here. We come here to learn, to see how to change the conditions outside our windows, outside our homes, even in our homes, to change how we are living materially, not just to say it, but to change it, to make sure it happens. That's why we come here, to find people that will help us do that work. We've been going over the Red Book. We started reading the Red Book a couple of weeks ago, because the first duty of a revolutionary is to be educated. So here we go over books, we go over literature, over history, over stuff that we're supposed to read as organizers, as revolutionaries, as activists, things we're supposed to consume, to educate us, to sharpen us in what we're doing. Because like I said, the first duty of a revolutionary is to be educated. The first book we went over was The Miseducation of a Negro. Every week we listen to the audio, and then we talk about it, and we see how we can implement the teachings from that. You got to mute yourself, wireless caller. But we listen to those books, or we read them books to gain information from them, and then we put it with what we're doing now and see how we can change the conditions in our community. That's what this space is for. We've been going over the Red Book. I think we on chapter 8 now. Chapter 8 or 7, General Secretary?
Chapter 8.
Yeah, we're on chapter 8. We on chapter 8. So we're going to listen to chapter 8. It's a few minutes long. After we listen to chapter 8, we're going to go on with the rest of the show. But let me start it now. I don't want to waste everybody's time.
Chapter 8, People's War. Quote, "The Revolutionary War is a war of the masses. It can be waged only by mobilizing the masses and relying on them. What is a true bastion of iron? It is the masses, the millions upon millions of people who genuinely and sincerely support the revolution. That is the real iron bastion which it is impossible, and absolutely impossible, for any force on earth to smash. The counter-revolution cannot smash us. On the contrary, we shall smash it. Rallying millions upon millions of people round the revolutionary government and expanding our revolutionary war, we shall wipe out all counter-revolution and take over the whole of China."
We're listening to Mao. We're listening to Chairman Mao. Here, we're Marxist and we're Maoist. We use dialectic materialism, meaning we study the past, those that have dealt with the same conflicts that we're dealing with now, to be able to deal with our situation. Chairman Mao defeated imperialism. The issues that we're going through in our community, what we're dealing with in our community, is imperialism. We're not dealing with, our issue is not women. That's not our enemy. Our enemy is not white people. It's not Spanish people. It's not immigrants. It's not gay people. It's not men. Whatever all these other philosophies and ways of thinking or ways of understanding our reality, whatever excuses they give for why we are suffering the conditions we're suffering in, that's dumb. Us, we believe our issue is imperialism. If you deal with the corporations, you deal with the landlords, the slumlords, if you deal with capitalism, you will solve the social ills in our community. That is what our studying, our education has taught us. The red book is quotations from Chairman Mao, somebody that has defeated imperialism, that went to war with imperialism and defeated them. And these books right here, these are quotations from him on how to defeat these people. We started reading the red book because on Twitter, they were supposed to get rid of they were supposed to get rid of TikTok. And when they said they were going to get rid of TikTok, everybody switched over to red note, whatever it was called, red note. And then when we switched over, we found out that red note, they were talking about the red book. So we said, you know what? The next book we're going to read is about Chairman Mao, the red book. Because as Panthers, we read the red book. When you graduate from our 13-week course, you get a copy of the red book. And in there is principles on how to lead a liberation, because that's what we're here doing. We're trying to liberate ourselves. So we read stuff from there. And what we're reading right here, what he just said, the first minute or two, it's not even a minute. The first 46 seconds of what Mao just said is, everything we're doing is for the people. Everything is for the people. You work for the people. You serve the people. He's not talking about get rich. They're not talking about like go out there and go make some money, find out. No, he said everything that you're doing, everything that we're doing, our whole life is working for the people. You have to get the support of the people. If you don't have the support of the people, you can't achieve nothing. And who are the people? The people are the people outside the window, your neighbors, the people in your community. Those are the people. If those people are organized, nobody can defeat them. That's what he's saying in the first 46 seconds when we listen to Mao, when we say you got to get educated, and we're reading the red book to understand how to do that. So what does that look like? It looks like me going outside and organizing my community, making sure I'm meeting the needs of the community. I'm with the community, boots on the ground. That's what he's saying. Go out and organize the community. That's the first 46 seconds.
The richest source of power to wage war lies in the masses of the people. It is mainly because of the unorganized state of the Chinese masses that Japan dares to bully us. When this defect is remedied, then the Japanese aggressor, like a mad bull crashing into a ring of flames.
Right there, he's talking about Japan. We're not talking about Japan. We're in Newark, New Jersey right now. That's where we're at. So, like, who are we dealing with? Who are the imperialists we dealing with here? That's what we dealing with. I mean, that's what we gotta find solutions on how to fight these people back. Fight what people? Who are the people oppressing us? The slumlords, the landlords, the people that's making it impossible for you to survive. That everything is so expensive, you can't buy nothing. Hiking up prices, price gouging people. How do you survive these people? How do you defeat these people? So like he was talking about Japan. That's what they were dealing with. Who are we dealing with? Who are the people? Who do we have to organize against? Like that's how you translate it and use it to apply to you, to the modern day terms right now. Because he's dealing with imperialism went in the 40s, in the 50s, in the 60s during his time. We're here now in 2025 dealing with imperialism. It don't look the same. We're not dealing with Japan. We're dealing with the United States government. We're dealing with corporations. We're dealing with politicians, corrupt politicians. That's what we're dealing with here. So how do we apply what he's telling us here to our condition? Yo, it stands the test of time that you got to go outside and organize the people that you want to change reality, to change the world. You can't just do it all by yourself. So then they had to go organize the Chinese peasant. They had to go organize the Chinese people for them to be organized, because the only way that they were being defeated was because they were not organized. How are you going to organize the people if you're not with the people?
That is the real iron bastion, earth to smash, ground the revolutionary government, and expand defect is remedied. Then the Japanese aggressor, like a mad bull crashing into a ring of flames, will be surrounded by hundreds of millions of our people standing upright. The mere sound of their voices will strike terror into him, and he will be burned to death. The imperialists are bullying us in such a way that we will have to deal with them seriously. Not only must we have a powerful regular army, we must also organize contingents of the people's militia on a big scale. This will make it difficult for the imperialists to move a single inch in our country in the event of invasion. Considering the Revolutionary War as a whole, the operations of the People's Guerrillas and those of the main forces of the Red Army complement...
You know what? Yo, right now, this is a cop city. If you're from Newark, New Jersey, if you're here and you listening to this right now, yo, they done built a cop city already right there on, was that Bergen, over there by Clinton Avenue. They have a police station there. Then they built a whole new cop city next to it that took up a whole block, built a whole nother facility. Yo, they're preparing for what's to come. They're preparing for no jobs. The prices keep going up. They're preparing for gentrification. This is like, we're listening to Mao, and he's telling you how you have to have your forces fortified where they can move one step. Yo, how are you going to do that if you don't get out there to organize the people to let them know what's coming? Because most people walk by that center. They don't understand what's inside the walls. They don't understand why those things are in place. But those things are in place for a reason. There's a reason why they went and built that center. There's a reason why. They didn't just build it for nothing. Is that what we need? Is that what's going to stop what's going on in our community? Is that what's going to stop crime? That building worth millions of dollars, what they're going to do in those buildings, police practicing how to do it. They're going to have trials and everything in that building. Yo, mark my words. That's where people are going to be going, and we're going to be complaining. The community is going to be complaining about that building in the next 10, 15, 20 years when things get real bad out here. Because they're going to use that space for us, to lock us up, to lock our children up. That's why they erected that building. It's not just there for nothing. But the people don't see it yet because the people are not politically educated. So they're not aware of what's going on around them. They don't understand imperialism. They don't understand nothing.
Africa, Bernard has his hand up.
Oh, what's going on, Bernard?
Hey, what's up, brother Africa? How you doing, Patience? How y'all doing today?
All power to the people. Outstanding.
Hey, all power. So, I want to first say, there's theory and then there's practice.
Yeah.
And, once you figured out your lane, see, everybody is required to move when the people call. We used to call it Akoben, call to arms. And when that call go out, you want to make sure that the people who make that call are responsible, and responsible in the sense that they have been practicing or they've been in theory, so they understand the proper revolutionary moves to make. So when I listen to a Hakeem Jeffries stand up and say a call to arms, or a Monica MacGyver, a call to arms, that's bourgeois reformism. You know what I'm saying? Boycott and Target, all that is bourgeois reformism. I'm not interested in that stuff. I'm interested in, the grassroots politician on the ground, like Yolanda Johnson, who's running for the school board right now against the corporation. There are two corporate parties right now getting ready to dominate or continue the dominance of the Newark School Board. Okay, a conduit to building that people's infrastructure that needs to be built to combat the 11,000 or 13,000 voters that Baraka got in his pocket because them people get paid to be there. So it's easy. So when you've amassed a bourgeois army of 13,000 voters that you can pull out at the drop of a hat, the people need 13,000 voters that we could pull out at the drop of a hat. And it starts with campaigns like this. That's why I'm urging all of us to get behind Yolanda Johnson, for the school board. She's a grassroots candidate. She's going to be going up against these bourgeois constituencies. Gail Cheneyfield is making another run for the council now, working with Jack Chitterelli, an outsider who's trying to gain political influence in our city. These are the type of things we got to be confronting and putting before the people so they can see those contradictions. And because I'm a media guy and I deal in journalism and online social media, I was the media director for Brexit, New Jersey. So I use those skills to work with where we can work, and that's why it's important to get behind people like Yolanda.
All power to
Just wanted to offer that.
not all power to the people. Like I'm gonna make sure I write that down because I gotta address. We gotta talk about that. Let me write that down.
Yeah, Yolanda Johnson. I'm doing a social media blitz for her all the way up until April. She, you know what I'm saying? I'm also doing a phone banking. So I got about a list of voters and phone numbers throughout the city. So I'm calling people. I'm doing a phone campaign to call, I'm not going to call all 5,000, but I do have the time to at least, call cluster groups within certain regions throughout Newark so that we can start to build, making a phone call is no different than, knocking on door to door. You know what I'm saying? It's the same effort. So we just need people in different departments to do what they can do to bring more people into the fold. Because what we want to do is we want to coalesce. And that's what, if we don't have that infrastructure ourselves, like I said, the way I'm thinking about this, we need 13,000 voters that we got on demand.
Listen, now we're going to get into that in a second. Let's get through this reading first, this book first, and then we're going to get... Yeah, we got a whole thing. We're gonna get into that. I wrote it down already. I'm gonna make sure. Hey, listen, this is the People's Forum, bro. You already put that on the table. You say we talk about that, we gonna talk about that. So let me listen real quick.
I'm following along with the red book. I got my red book out.
Yeah, all power to the people. And even what you're saying, that's what they're talking about here, about the people, getting the people to
Exactly. That's what he's talking about here, waging the people's war. Like, putting together the army. Like when you going up against somebody like a Ras Baraka with that kind of infrastructure to be able to make a play on the state level, you feel me? Those local, I did a whole meme about it. Like you get 11,000, when you go register 11,000 voters at the state level and the other constituents or the other individuals you're running against don't have that kind of, power base, we dealing with a bourgeois army.
All power to the people. All power to the people.
Each other like a man's right arm and left arm. And if we had only the main forces of the Red Army without the people's guerrillas, we would be like a warrior with only one arm. In concrete terms, and especially with regard to military operations, when we talk of the people in the base area as a factor, we mean that we have an armed people. That is the main reason why the enemy is afraid to approach our base area. Unquestionably, victory or defeat in war is determined mainly by the military, political, economic, and natural...
Remember, what Mao is talking about here, we're not at the stage of the revolution yet. We don't even have base areas. We're trying to create base areas. We don't even have base areas to go to military. We have no weapons. There's no guns. We're in 2025. The space that we are in right now as an organization, as the Black Panther Party in Newark, New Jersey, New African Black Panther Party, right here in real time in Newark, New Jersey, we building institutions. We are building base areas. That is what we're doing in our communities. Our after-school program, our food program, helping people with housing, everything we do, the sports programs, everything we do, this show that we're doing to try to bring people in that want to do the work in the community. Everything we do, our educational show that we do on Wednesdays, our whole lives is dedicated to trying to organize the people, to bring the people in for them to liberate themselves through learning how to do it. That's where we at. We're not at the stage. Once we've become successful, once we've gotten to the stage where we've organized the people, and they're no longer being afraid of being gentrified out their homes because we're working together and we've built homes, we own homes, we own these buildings that's in our community. Once you've gotten to that stage, imperialism is going to try to come after you. That is when you think about all the military stuff to try to defend yourself. We at the beginning stage. Most people outside have no idea what imperialism even means. So we not at that stage. I need you to be able to listen to what he's saying and see how you can pull out from this struggle and how to implement it to what we trying to do here. I got to keep trying to remind you that. Don't get lost. Let's stay focused. We only got like 8 minutes of this to listen to.
Conditions on both sides. But not by these alone. It is also determined by each side's subjective ability in directing the war. In his endeavor to win a war, a military strategist cannot overstep the limitations imposed by the material conditions. Within these conditions, however, he can and must strive for victory. The stage of action for a military strategist is built upon objective material conditions. But on that stage, he can direct the performance of many a drama, full of sound, power, and grand.
General Secretary, try to mute people like...
Okay.
The object of war is specifically to preserve oneself and destroy the enemy. To destroy the enemy means to disarm him or deprive him of the power to resist. It does not mean to destroy every member of his forces physically. In ancient warfare, the spear and the shield...
remember that. It doesn't mean to destroy every member of his forces physically. Remember that.
...shield were used. The spear to attack and destroy the enemy, and the shield to defend and preserve oneself. To the present day, all weapons are still an extension of the spear and the shield. The bomber, the machine gun, the long-range gun and poison gas are developments of the spear, while the air raid shelter, the steel helmet, the concrete fortification and the gas mask are developments of the shield. The tank is a new weapon combining the functions of both spear and shield. Attack is the chief means of destroying the enemy, but defense cannot be dispensed with. In attack, the immediate object is to destroy the enemy, but at the same time it is self-preservation, because if the enemy is not destroyed, you will be destroyed. In defense, the immediate objective is to preserve yourself, but at the same time, defense is a means of supplementing attack or preparing to go over to the attack. Retreat is in the category of defense and is a continuation of defense, while pursuit is a continuation of attack. It should be pointed out that destruction of the enemy is the primary object of war, and self-preservation the secondary, because only by destroying the enemy in large numbers can one effectively preserve oneself. Therefore, attack, the chief means of destroying the enemy, is primary, while defense, a supplementary means of destroying the enemy and a means of self-preservation, is secondary. In actual warfare, the chief role is played by defense much of the time and by attack for the rest of the time. But if war is taken as a whole, attack remains primary. All the guiding principles of military operations grow out of the one basic principle, to strive to the utmost to preserve one's own strength and destroy that of the enemy. How then do we justify the encouragement of heroic sacrifice in war? Every war exacts a price, sometimes an extremely high one. Is this not in contradiction with preserving oneself?
Every war exacts a price. All of these, everything that they're saying, it applies to now. It exacts a price. Your access to jobs, access to certain spaces, depending on what you're doing and how you're moving and who your enemy is. We're going to get into who our enemy is out here. I mean, like if you're fighting back against the slumlords, there's a price to that. They're going to take you to court. They're going to kick you out that home, and you're going to have to find a place to stay. There's a penalty that you got to pay for anything, for standing up. There's a price to pay. Being prepared to pay that price is the difference between a revolutionary and a reactionary.
In fact, there is no contradiction at all. To put it more exactly, sacrifice and self-preservation are both opposite and complementary to each other. For such sacrifice is essential not only for destroying the enemy, but also for preserving oneself, partial and temporary non-preservation. Sacrifice, or paying the price, is necessary for the sake of general and permanent preservation. From this basic principle stems the series of principles guiding military operations.
From that principle, we live in a building. The slumlords come in, the city, the mayor, wherever, they sell them the property, they come in and they take the property, and they start raising people rents up. So we organize the entire building, everybody that live in the building, 20 floors. 20 floors, about 10 apartments on every floor. You organize everybody that are coming together. Instead of paying rent, you all put that money inside the escrow and take the the corporation to court. Take them to court. And then all that money that y'all save, you go buy your own building. You work towards finding ways to sustain yourself. I mean, so that's what they're talking about fighting. You're defending yourself. Like, there's a risk. There's a risk to it. It's hard. It's hard going to organize the people in the community. Sitting down, talking to people, getting them to be able to work towards this endeavors. Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, it's risk to that. You taking risks because it may not work. But in that risk that you're taking, that's how you protect yourself. And that's how you land a devastating blow to the people that you're fighting. Because without the people, they have nothing. If there's nobody in that building paying them rent, like the building is just sitting there. And then the next step after you're organized, you take the building over. We've done it. Take the building over. But you got to be organized. It's not reactionary. You don't just wake up one day and you go ahead and say, like, I'm going to do this. It takes years. It takes time of planning, dedication, and understanding what the whole point of what you're doing is. Education.
All of which from the principles of shooting, taking cover to preserve oneself, and making full use of firepower to destroy the enemy, to the principles of strategy are permeated with the spirit of this basic principle. All technical principle.
Somebody trying to say something?
No.
Are all principles concerning tactics, campaigns, and strategy represent applications of this basic principle. The principle of preserving oneself and destroying the enemy is the basis of all military principles. Our principles of operation are: 1. Attack dispersed. Isolated enemy forces first. Attack concentrated, strong enemy forces later. 2. Take small and medium cities and extensive rural areas first. Take big cities later. 3. Make wiping out the enemy's effective strength our main objective. Do not make holding or seizing a city or place our main objective. Holding or seizing a city or place is the outcome of wiping out the enemy's effective strength, and often a city or place can be held or seized for good only after it has changed hands a number of times. 4. In every battle, concentrate an absolutely superior force. 2, 3, 4, and sometimes even 5 or 6 times the enemy's strength. Encircle the enemy forces completely. Strive to wipe them out thoroughly, and do not let any escape from the net. In special circumstances, use the method of dealing the enemy crushing blows. That is, concentrate all our strength to make a frontal attack and an attack on one or both of his flanks, with the aim of wiping out one part and routing another so that our army can swiftly move its troops to smash other enemy forces. Strive to avoid battles of attrition, in which we lose more than we gain or only break even. In this way, although inferior as a whole, in terms of numbers, we shall be absolutely superior in every part, in every specific campaign, and this ensures victory in the campaign. As time goes on, we shall become superior as a whole and eventually wipe out all the enemy. 5. Fight no battle unprepared. Fight no battle you are not sure of winning. Make every effort to be well prepared for each battle. Make every effort to ensure victory in the given set of conditions as between the enemy and ourselves. 6. Give full play to our style of fighting. Courage in battle. No fear of sacrifice. No fear of fatigue. And continuous fighting. That is, fighting successive battles in a short time without rest. 7. Strive to wipe out the enemy when he's on the move. At the same time, pay attention to the tactics of positional attack and capture enemy fortified points and cities. 8. With regard to attacking cities, resolutely seize all enemy fortified points and cities which are weakly defended. At opportune moments, seize all enemy fortified points and cities defended with moderate strength, provided circumstances permit. As for all strongly defended enemy fortified points and cities, wait till conditions are ripe, and then take them. 9. Replenish our strength with all the arms and most of the personnel captured from the enemy. Our Army's main sources of manpower and material are at the front. 10. Make good use of the intervals between campaigns to rest, train, and consolidate our troops. Periods of rest, training, and consolidation should not in general be very long, and the enemy should so far as possible be permitted no breathing space. These are the main methods of the People's Liberation Army has employed in defeating Chiang Kai-shek. They are the result of the tempering of the People's Liberation Army in long years of fighting against domestic and foreign enemies and are completely suited to our present situation. Our strategy and tactics are based on a people's war. No army opposed to the people can use our strategy and tactics. Without preparedness, superiority is not real superiority, and there can be no initiative either. Having grasped this point, a force which is inferior but prepared can often defeat a superior enemy by surprise attack.
All power to the people. So that's the end of that. That's the end of that chapter, of chapter 8. The message is that.
Andy put some comments on. Andy, please share your comments that you haven't had.
Yeah, I was just going to comment that, like a lot of these actions that are not prepared well, they're just thrown together, kind of like this. Boycott everything. Don't shop on the February 28th. Those are basically going to fail, and they tend to demoralize the people because they're not led by revolutionary at all. They're led by people who are grandstanding, trying to put themselves in position, like Al Sharpton or something like that. So to really build an effective action, it's going to take a sort of a propaganda war to get the people on your side. And the only answers to the questions that people are asking can only be answered by revolutionary thinking. So like what is going on in Newark or Chicago, the people are desperate. The people are ready to join with something that can help them, but they keep getting these half-assed ideas that are coming from the Democratic Party and from these misleaders.
All power to the people. All power to the people. Now, on Friday, somebody else wanted to say something? Hey, on Friday, Thomas, you wanted to say something, Thomas? Mitch?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Peace, God.
All power to the people. Go ahead. What you wanted to say?
I mean, I'm here. I was listening right now, but expect everybody, that's on the line.
Yeah, whenever you want to chime in, whenever you want to say something, you good. Just raise your hand or cut in when you. I mean, you know how to have a conversation.
But yeah, I know.
Okay. All right. So check this out. So Friday, today is Sunday. On Friday, after we left from our after-school program, because every day, even tomorrow's Monday, what we do as Panthers, we have programs that serve the community. Because our duty is to try to organize the community. So we have programs. So early in the morning, we start off by dropping kids off at school. Kids that are tardy, that don't go to school, like that can't go to school. Sometimes their mother's working, like she has to go to work like 5 o'clock in the morning. Like we make sure the kids get to school. We pick them up from school. We have an after-school program. We help them do their homework. Then we do boxing. We have different programs in the community. We got a food program. We have a whole bunch of, not a whole bunch. We have a few programs in the community. But on Friday, we left from the gym around about 5:30 after we were done, and we were dropping the kids off, and the notifications started coming through like around 6:30. I mean, then when we got home, like at 7 o'clock, it really started coming through that there was an incident with the police and a 14-year-old. And the first stories that came out were saying one thing, the others were saying, but like you really didn't know what was going on. And we had just got home, so we went to sleep. So the next day we woke up with everything. I mean, they had the press conference, and you got like a clearer idea of what was going on. We're gonna play the audio from the media. We're gonna play what the We're gonna play what the officials in the city, the mayor, the prosecutors, the charging. We're gonna play all of that. But first, as Panthers working in the community, everybody needs to understand something. We view the police as an occupying force, a militarized occupying force that's in our community, not to serve the community, but to police the community, to oppress the community, to keep us in our communities, and to aid the imperialists, the landlords, the corporation, to aid them in exploiting the people in our community. That's what we believe as Panthers. That's what our education has taught us. That's what reading people like Mao, reading Marxism, reading Fanon. Yo, the Black Panther Party was founded based on the teachings of Malcolm X. Huey P. Newton, Bobby Seale, they heard the teachings of Malcolm X. They went to see Malcolm X speak, and they heard him speak, and he motivated them for them to create the Black Panther Party for self-defense. I know you heard self-defense when Mao was speaking. Huey P., all of them, they studied Mao. They studied the Red Book. Frantz Fanon. You could go back, George Jackson. You could go back and read. You could go back to Carter G. Woodson. You could go back to Chancellor Williams. You could go and read in all these different books, and they're explaining to you the state, the government, the police, and how they interact with us, the people. Currently in Newark, New Jersey, the police department is under a consent decree. That's what's on the screen. If you go on their website, you're going to see they're on a consent decree. What is a consent decree? The United States Attorney's Office for the District of New Jersey and the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice issued a report in July 2014, not Friday, not a month ago, not 2 months ago, after all the complaining that everybody's been complaining from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, 2000s. Everybody's complaining that this police department is abusing the residents. They're attacking the residents. The people keep complaining. Yo, they finally, after all those years, all those administrations, all those cops, all the people that have been brutalized, they finally, the United States government finally took these people, investigated them, and found them guilty of everything the people have been saying. And they put them on a consent decree. And that's what I'm reading. 2014, finding a pattern and practice of unconstitutional policing by the Newark Police Department, and reached an agreement in principle with the city of Newark to undertake wide-ranging reforms within the police department. These included selecting an independent court-appointed monitor and incorporating those reforms in a judicially enforceable consent decree. This is what they came up with, the government, to deal with the people that they employ. That's oppressing the people. This is what they came up and what they said these people that they were employing, their employers, did to us, the people, the residents of Newark. I've been in Newark my whole life. I've raised my family in Newark. I met my wife in Newark. I went to middle school, everything in Newark, high school. I went to jail in Newark. I went to college in Newark. I went to everything. I've been to every institution this Newark has to offer. And all the way to 2014 and even before, all the way from since I was born, since going to school in the 80s, 90s, growing up in Newark, we've always said the police were sociopath savages that attacked us. I still have scars on my body from the police. So it is not reactionary that we don't stand with the police. We know the police are not here to serve us. We know that. It's not an opinion. And it's scientific evidence that proves it. And the consent decree is one of those evidences that prove it. The DOJ and the city of Newark then solicited applications from potential monitors. After receiving and reviewing 21 applications, they did it. This isn't us. This isn't the people doing none of this. This is the government, their officials doing this. Interviewing potential monitors and soliciting the input of members of the community in writing and in person. When they say members of the community, they mean organizations that they fund, like Anti-Violence Coalition that the mayor fund. So they'll talk to those people and they say they got input from the community. Those people are not community. Those people are your workers. Those are your agents. They don't belong to the community. They may live in the community, but once they're getting a paycheck from you, they're not working for the people no more. They work for you. Applicant the input of members of the community in writing in a person at the information session across the city. the DOJ and the city chose Peter C. Harvey, Esquire of Patterson, Belknap, to serve as the court-appointed monitor. Yo, we went. This is 2014 when they came out with all of this. Yo, we went to a couple of the meetings to go see what they was talking about. Yo, Peter Harvey was a fraud too. They paid him all that money they took from taxpayers and paid it to Peter Harvey, and he was a fraud too. We went there, yo, we got videos. Like, we're not just saying this to be saying it. Yo, we used to go to all the spaces to investigate, to see if these people were really doing what they were saying they were doing. Yo, they stole our car. The city of Newark literally stole our car. We're not the only ones that they stole their car. They'll come and tow your car, take it to dentist's brother, talking about something. You didn't have no registration tag. You didn't have no insurance.
One second, Chairman. Is Yolanda here? Because I know Yolanda, she be one of the main voices out there talking about these predatory towing companies. Yolanda, you there? You want to share a little bit? If not, we can move on.
She was texting the thing. But Yolanda, that's what we was talking about. I was running for school board. I mean, he's talking about
Yes, I'm here.
Hello. Yeah, I was going to tell you guys. I'm sorry. This is Deborah, to give her a minute to get on because she was on her way home and trying to settle down. Okay, I'm gonna go back and mute.
All power to the people. That's okay. But yeah, but it happened to her too. I mean, I think I remember.
Yes, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we could hear you. Yeah, you went through that same issue too, right, with the car?
Yeah, I'm actually still working on that because they have a whole operation going on.
Don't say nothing. Say no more. Say no more. Nah, yeah, say no more because we took him to court too. So say no more. But I'm gonna give you a chance to speak it a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, but everybody in the community goes through this with the police. What the consent decree is saying that they're doing in our community. Like, so they stole our car. We had to go to court. We went to court for over a year. I mean, and that was the vehicle that we was using to transport the children to the after-school program. It was a minivan. So when they came and told it, like, it meant something to us because now we got to go get another vehicle to be able to work with the children we're working with. So we went to court. After a year of going to court, the judge going to look at me talking about something. I can sue the dentist's brother. I got to go sue the city of Newark. Yo, after all of that, we just washed our hands like, yo, we done. Because everything, we had to do it ourselves. You have to take time out of your life to go do it. Like, in the time, the energy that we spent going to deal with these people, yo, at the end of it, we would have spent more money than whatever they were going to do to give us back to pay for the old minivan that we had. So we had to, like, tap out. They stole our vehicle, and they impounded it. So it wasn't even like they could give it back to us when we went to court. They impounded the vehicle. And then they gave us tickets on top of that. They threw the tickets away, but it is what it is. But anyway, we know how the police, we know how City Hall, we know how all these people work in tandem to come and attack the people, to take from the people. The DOJ and the City of Newark then solicited application. No, I already read that. Selection of Peter Harvey announced. They selected Peter Harvey in March 30th, 2016. You see how long it took them? 2014, 2016. Yo, they just be dragging their feet. But anyway, after he came along, we went to see him. We told him about the car. He said a few things. But yo, we got the idea that he was just a stunt dummy, just there to make it look like they're doing what they're doing. The police department didn't change. It's still the same way. It still functions the same way. They're still doing the same thing they're doing. See, this is how we viewed the police department before Friday, when the report started coming out. The report started coming out that a young child shot the police and the police killed him, that he was dead. It was all kind. So when they came out, yo, what side do you think the Black Panther Party on? We're not on the side of the police. We're never on the side of the police. Because like I said, we believe the police are an occupying force in our community. And we have the evidence to prove it. So this was the consent decree. And now I'm going to go through and show you clips from the consent decree. This is what it was about. Newark Police Department investigation agreement in principle fact sheet investigation. The Justice Department Civil Rights.
You got it, Chairman, or you want me to read it?
Go ahead. You can read that.
So, investigation. The Justice Department Civil Rights Division, in partnering with the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of New Jersey, initiated an investigation in May 2011 of the Newark Police Department, police practices under the 3 civil rights statutes: the Violent Crime Controlling Law Enforcement Act of 1994, the Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and the Omnibus Crime Control and Safe Streets Act of 1968. The investigation focused on allegations of excessive force, unconstitutional stops, searches and seizures, discriminatory policing on the basis of race, ethnicity, national origin, sexual orientation, and gender identity, risk of harm to detainees confined in holding cells, and retaliation by officers against individuals who legally attempt to observe or record police. The City of Newark and NPD cooperated throughout the investigation. Prior to and during the investigation, the Justice Department received input about the NPD from community groups and individuals through meetings, a community email address, and a community hotline.
Hold up for a second. Remember, I told you, those community groups that they're talking about is the groups that work for the city. They're not speaking to people that don't work for the city, that are not in the circle, in that fake political circle of power, that power structure. They don't speak to groups outside of that. So in their investigation, they spoke to like Newark Anti-Violence Coalition, the what they call themselves, the
Brick City Peace Collective.
Brick City Peace Collective. All of those are front groups for the mayor. Like there's nobody here like nobody that doesn't know that. Especially if you're active in the community and you're doing something, you know these groups belong to the mayor. This is who their money go to. When I say like they could file charges for all these people, you're not supposed to be using federal dollars for money to give to groups that are there to just help you with your campaign. Because that's what them groups are for. But anyway, continue.
Prior to and during the investigation was conducted by the Justice Department lawyers, staff, and external experts in police practices. Police practice experts included current and former police commanders from other jurisdictions who provided expertise on law enforcement issues as well as experts in collection and analysis of police-related data. The investigation included intensive on-site review of NPD practices and procedures. The team conducted interviews and meetings with NPD officers, supervisors, command staff, and union representatives, and participated in ride-alongs with officers and supervisors. The investigation included an in-depth...
You don't have to read that. Go down to fighting.
Oh.
You basically get that point of what this part is. Yo, thanks a lot. Go down to fighting.
Okay, fighting. Stop, searches, and arrests in violation of the Fourth and First Amendments. The Justice Department found reasonable cause to believe NPD engages in a pattern or practice of unconstitutional stops, searches, and arrests in violation of the Fourth and First Amendment of the Constitution. Approximately 75% of pedestrian stops documented by NPD provided an insufficient constitutional basis for the stop.
Pause. Yo, approximately 75% of the pedestrians, 75%, you're out of 100. Yo, 75%, 75 cents out of 100, you got to throw away. You only got 25 cents left. Yo, that 25 cents that you got left, bro, those are the only people that are not impacted by what the police are doing. The people that they pull up, when they stop people, pedestrian, they're stopping them illegally. They have no reason to stop that 75 cents. Yo, think about that for a second. This is what the government has found out. Like, we've been saying this for decades, but this is what the government found. They did their own investigation. Yo, when they say 75%, to me, it's really probably like 95, because they're jerking wreck. They're going to like try to pencil whip us. But like, we know what it is. But look what they got on paper. This is on paper. Approximately 75% of pedestrian stops documented by the ones they documented by NPD provided an insufficient constitutional basis for the stop. Not 5%, not 2%, not 3%, not 1%, 75%. I got it from here, I got it from here. NPD has also engaged in a pattern of practice of unconstitutional arrest for behavior perceived as insubordinate or disrespectful to officers, often charged as obstruction of justice, resisting arrest, or disorderly conduct. Yo, I got all of them on my jacket. My jacket is a mile long. Most of us here probably got one of these. I'm sure the General Secretary got one of these. In addition, some number of NPD narcotics arrest reports may not accurately describe the circumstances leading to the arrest. Like you just walking, like, you know what? Yo, you got some weed on you. You got a bottle of coke on you, got some coke on you, you get high. You just walking. The police just grab you, tackle you. They happen to find that on you. That's what they're saying. There's no reason for them grabbing people up. Like, it ain't like you saw them getting high. Somebody told you, like, yo, they getting high over there. You just grabbed them and threw them down. You violated all of their rights. That's how you found something. Or in the middle of you violating their rights, you find something. That is what this is saying. This is what the police do. This is their behavior. In 75%, you can say some bad apples. Man, all of y'all, the whole system is bad. Desperate impact of police activities. While the data gathered during the investigation did not provide enough information to conclude whether NPD engages in intentional discrimination. How it didn't? You know why it didn't? Because they're paying you. Because you're working for them. Because you're a fraud too. That's why all the information you got, they didn't come to being intentional. 75% is intentional to me. If I smack you 75% of the time and then be like sorry 25%, man, yo, bro, I'm an abuser. Like, there's no conversation to have. You're an abuser. You're going to jail. You don't have enough evidence. 75%. The Justice Department did find a disproportionate number of stops and arrests of black people. Yeah, I bet you did. What else you gonna say? You can't lie. The numbers are there. The Newark Police Department currently employs approximately 1,000 sworn officers. This was back then, 2016, 14, whatever, and is still recovering from the layoffs of 167 officers at the end of 2010. Yeah, this is 2011, whatever. I'm sure they brought those numbers up because they know people catching hell and stuff about to go crazy out there, and it's about to be summertime. The department is led by a police director. The whole police department is led by a police director, appointed by who? The mayor. Because when we talk about who should be held accountable for what's going on in our community, there are people that get a paycheck. There are people that get paycheck, their money, the money in their bank accounts, the millions of dollars that they have comes from us paying taxes, and they take those taxes and they pay them to make sure things like this don't happen on Friday. And who's the number one person? They say right here, the department, that's the first person they talked about, not me. The department is led by a police director, appointed by who? So who's his boss? The mayor of Newark, and approved by Newark City Council. So these are all the people that are in charge of that department, the judicial part, the justice part, the crime. These are the people that are in charge. And the chief of police, who report to the police director. So the head honcho here is the mayor. That's running for governor is the mayor. While Newark is in the condition he in. The MPD is composed of 4 precincts in addition to bureau. We don't need to go through that part. General order that members the MPD. Now, but and one indication of the effectiveness of the MPD internal affairs system is that internal affairs unit sustained only 1 civilian complaint of excessive force out of the hundreds received from 2007 to 2012. So when something happened, the first thing the managerial Negroes, the black folks in the community, the first thing they're going to say is start parroting their white counterparts that they work with, the suburbs that they live in. That's what they start parroting. They start saying accountability. Yo, whatever happened, you just sit there, don't say nothing. You go through the system, the judicial system, whatever. You take them to court. Like I said, we got money to go take all these people to court. Just sit there, let them slap you, let them beat you, let them steal from you, and then just wait. Let them rape you, and then you just wait until it's all over. Then you're going to take them to court to get accountability. You're going to go to internal affairs. That's what they tell you. Go to internal affairs. And when you go to internal affairs, they're telling you right here. One indication of the effectiveness of the Newark Police Department's internal affairs system is that the Internal Affairs Unit sustained only one civilian complaint of excessive force out of hundreds received from 2007 to 2012. So these are the people that you're going to for accountability. And they only, out of all the excessive, that they got, excessive reports that they got, that people filed, that people took their time, got over their fear and went down there, and only one, that they saw there was anything. I'm going to keep going. While there is no right rate at which force complaints should be sustained, only one finding of unreasonable force out of hundreds of complaints over a 6-year period is symptomatic of a deeply dysfunctional accountability systems. The Newark Police Department also has failed to adequately collect or analyze data about officers' use of force, stops, or arrests, nor has the Newark Police Department taken adequate steps to implement an early warning system that will track and identify officers' problematic behavior. As a result of these systemic deficiencies, the NPD does not discern or respond to problematic trends in officer conduct that could constitute or lead to misconduct. You see, this is not what Afrika's saying. This is what they're saying of themselves. Because they hired these people, they're part of their system, they're part of their institutions, and they're giving them the report. This is damning. This was in 2014. They did all of this in 2007, even though we've been complaining for generations. As a result of the NPD's practice of not conducting meaningful administrative investigations, shootings, and violate policy, but have not been criminally prosecuted, have avoided review, except in extremely rare instance where a shooting is prosecuted criminally. There is no possibility of holding officers accountable or determining whether they were training or other failures. Indeed, while the NPD lack of investigation made it impossible to draw firm conclusions about any shooting based upon the investigative file, at least one appeared unreasonable based solely on the documents available. This is what they're saying. Afrika's not saying this. This is what their own internal investigation is saying about the police department. That you can't trust these people. This is the internal affairs that you're supposed to go to get accountability. They're telling you you can't trust these people. The Third Circuit has found that a stop is unconstitutional where an officer thinks an individual's behavior is suspicious but is not able to articulate why or link it to criminal activity. I don't want to read all of this, but I got to. In parentheses, report that the plaintiff was pacing and acting agitated, followed by officer observation of plaintiff sitting in a car reading the newspaper, did not give rise to articulable suspicion that plaintiff was about to commit a crime. You see, these are all the excuses that they give. You're sitting in your car, you're reading a book, you're moving, you're walking, you're breathing. These are the excuses they give for like evidence for them to go over there and abuse your rights. Similarly, an officer may not stop individuals based only on a generalized description of appearance that could apply widely, like you got dreads, he got on a hoodie. When the officer has not observed suspicious activity by those individuals. Stop was unconstitutional when officer stopped two individuals he observed hailing a taxi based on description of robbery suspect as two black males, ages 15 to 20, wearing dark clothing. Like this is the type of stuff they do. You waiting for a cab. This and you fit the description because you black. And to them, you look like you're between 15 and 21, which them, like to them, like these ages, like somebody could be 5 years old, 9. They say that person 15. Nor is an individual mere presence in a particular neighborhood or area, even an area of expected criminal activity or high crime area, sufficient to support a reasonable particularized suspicion that the person is committing a crime, and this is the case law that they're giving you, whatever. But they're telling you, even if you're in a high crime area, I grew up in Spires. Spires is a high crime area. My children go to school, come back, come on. The whole North is a high crime area. We live here. So if you just go around start locking people up, punking people over the head, talking about because they're in a high crime area, and then you happen to find something, and you think that justifies your action, you're breaking the Constitution. You're breaking the law. They're breaking the law. The police are breaking the law. What they're doing is illegal, according to their laws that they're supposed to uphold. Complaint: when a man asks this is the complaint, whatever. When a man asks a plainclothes officer while another individual had been stopped, the officer reportedly slammed the man to the ground and used a chokehold on him. When the man's female cousin asked why the officer was choking her cousin, the officer kicked her in the ribs and placed both individuals in handcuffs. Both the officer's account and the internal IA investigation are incomplete, raising questions about the reliability of the investigation. While the complainants alleged specific details, including a chokehold and a kick, the officer's account was minimal and uninformative, reporting only that she had other officers quelled the behavior. So like when they do their police reports, that's what they're talking about. They're lying on their police report. 99.999% of police reports are lies, because they are the criminals, and they're trying to justify their criminal behavior in those reports. They're judge and jury. They get the lie. So you choke them, you kick them, and you just put in there like, we just quelled the behavior. The investigator uncovered that officers also have used force in furtherance of whatever. But you go through the report, and this is all that's in there. It's telling you over and over. It's telling you over and over. We don't have to read this. I'm not going to play this. But it's telling you over and over because I want to move the show along. As a result of the NPD's practice of not conducting meaningful administrative investigations, shootings that violate policy but have not been criminally prosecuted have avoided review, except in extreme rare. I think I read this already. Like when there's a criminal charge, when the odds, everybody's looking at it, that's when somebody may get prosecuted. But other than that, it's a wrap. Ain't nothing happening. They investigate themselves and they throw that thing under the table, out the garbage. They eat it up in the little shredder thing. They don't do nothing. The police, like I said, before I even started reading this stuff, the police are an occupying force in our community. That is how we see the police. You got songs, F the police. Nobody likes the police, no matter where you go, because the people inherently understand, know, and deal with material conditions that tell them the police are not here to protect you. When the police pull up, what's the first thing they do? They on record check you. If you call the police in the hood and the police come to you, they record check you. That's the first thing they do, to see if they should even listen to you. If you got a warrant, if they should lock you up. They're not there to solve your issue. The police not here for us. Can you see this, Secretary General?
Click on the go back. Click on the title. It's going to take you to the page.
Oh, okay. Nah, thank you. Go ahead. You can read this.
Okay.
A portrait of Newark.
Okay. A portrait of Newark paints a picture of a well-being and access to opportunity in the state of youth disconnect in Newark today. The portrait is an extensive study of well-being and youth disconnection across race, place, and gender throughout Newark's 5 wards. The report found that stark variation exists by place and by demographic group, resulting in significant inequalities across Newark. This report...
Now that's good right there. This report right here, I don't want to go through this. I mean, you could check it out for yourself. You could read it for yourself. Google it and look it up. It's telling you about the conditions in the community. Because like when we're talking about what happened on Friday, you got to deal with the situation on the ground. What Newark is like. The conditions of Newark. So when you go through this report right here, it's going to basically tell you everything we know. The high poverty rate, There's no programs for children. Nothing. The schools failing them. Children reading at a 5-6% proficiency rate. This is what the report is going to explain to you. The poverty, all of that, the jobs. You go through the report. They have reports here. They have reports going back 60 years that's going to explain to you the conditions that people are dealing with. And after that, what do I hit to go back? I can't hear you. You're mute.
Press escape on the keyboard. I'm coming.
She about to be fired. Nah, but this is what this report is telling you. It breaks down Newark. It goes in depth because we're talking about a 14-year-old. A 14-year-old in a firefight with the police. How did that happen? How did he get into a firefight with the police? But the conditions on the ground are what create all the stuff, all the social ills we're talking about. Yo, if that child is not educated, if the school is not teaching them, if he's starving, if there's no food, they don't have no housing, yo, all this stuff impact that child. Who are the people responsible for that? Who are the people responsible for the slumlords coming in and being able to do what they want to do and not held accountable? What slumlord has gone to jail? North New Jersey leads the country in gentrification efforts, and these gentrification efforts are illegal. Who has gone to jail for any of that? But when they talk about crime, they talk about somebody selling drugs, selling some weed, selling some coke, selling some pills, as if that is what is causing the suffering in the city, in the community. When it's institutional. From the first day you go to school, they've already prepared you to fail. From the media, from you starving, you can't even eat. The food is too expensive. Your diet is horrible. The air is polluted. These are all the factors that come together to create somebody, a 14-year-old, that will have a gun. If they did have a gun, because you can't believe nothing the police saying. And they're not saying nothing. Let me play. I don't want to jump. Let me play it up. This is a report of what happened.
Is how this all unfolded. Now, right now, we can confirm that 2 Newark police officers have been shot, according to the Essex County Prosecutor's Office. Sources tell us one cop was shot in the head, the other in the leg. Investigators say the shooting happened in the area of Carteret Street and Broadway around 6:37 p.m., and both officers were taken to a local hospital. Again, sources say one of those officers have died at this hour. The other officer's condition is unknown. Sources tell us the 14-year-old fired 29 shots, which were recorded on ShotSpotter. We're also hearing from sources that the cop who died is a detective in the intelligence unit.
Yo, just remember what they said. And everything they said, none of that is from the people. I told you the Black Panther Party is here for the people. Nothing they just said on there is from the people. It's from their sources. Who are their sources? The police. What was the police doing there? How did they get into a gunfight? This is another report. Like, you get conflicting reports when they come out. One Newark police officer killed, the New York Post. One Newark police officer killed, another fighting for their life after shooting with 14-year-old reports. The young gunman allegedly fired a total of 29 shots. I don't know what kind of gun he had to fire 29 shots at officers. Both officers were hit in a flurry of bullets and were taken to University Hospital. The injured officer is in critical condition and is fighting for their life. But they say one person anyway. There are conflicting reports about the status of the teen, with PRX-11 sources saying he was killed. That's what they said at first. They said he was killed, while ABC7 reported he was taken into custody. The suspect was hanging with a large group at the fast food restaurant just before the incident. What fast food restaurant? But they didn't say what fast food restaurant because they want to keep the company name out of what's going on. Like, even when we went over there to go investigate, because we went to the community to go investigate, where they said it happened, that it didn't happen there. It happened down over there by McDonald's and White Castle. It didn't happen on that block. I mean, so like they just give. This is the media. This is the media, the corporate media. They are all intertwined together. They're all working together. Because like I told you, these statements that they're making come from the police. It don't come from the people. None of this is from the people. everybody would tell us that what they're doing is for the people, the school board, the council, everybody. Everything is for the people. But none of these things, right, none of this information came from the people. When you come to find out, when we find out what really happened, when we actually speak to that 14-year-old baby, when we get to talk to him, we're going to get a totally different story of what happened. But anyway, I'm about to play for you what they say. Now, look, these are the people, the mayor, the prosecutor, the police director, all these people are here in this room, and they're about to talk. While you're listening to them, tell me or think to yourself, I want you to tell me when, after they're done, which one of them is speaking for the people? Which one of them here is here to serve the people? And who's here to serve imperialism, to serve the political class, to serve the wealthy? Who? Which one of all of these people here? Let me know which one of them is here to serve you, Newark resident.
And the recommended responsibility. They're also joined by First Assistant Al Salvador, Chief of the Detectives, Rachel B. Breyer, and other members of the Essex County Prosecutor's Office, as well as the Newark Police Department. We're also joined by Essex County Sheriff Emily Jones.
She just introducing who's here. I'm going to skip it forward a little bit.
Good morning. Yesterday at approximately 6:30 p.m.
You see, this is what they call inclusivity, right? You know, he looked like he's Spanish back here. The mayor right here, he black. I think he black right here. There's another black guy over here. There's a few black guys, a few Spanish people here. See, to them, this is what they call inclusivity when they get to work in the system. To them, that's inclusiveness. The system is letting them in. That means we're all in because they have jobs. They get millions of dollars to work in the system where they report directly to the people that fund their campaigns that put them in those jobs. The people didn't put them in there. When they say the people voted for them, well, the people in Newark don't vote. The small percent of people that come out to vote work in City Hall, the families of people that work in City Hall, the organizations that they're funding, the nonprofits they're funding, those are the people that come out and vote for them. The senior citizens that they're over there hustling, taking to Atlantic City to go play casino, those are the people that they get out to vote for. But the masses of the people don't support them. They don't have people power. So since they don't have people power, because this is imperialism back here, since they don't have people power, they have to do things like inclusivity. So he's a black man, and he's a prosecutor. So listen what happened. He's coming there, a 14-year-old, and the police department got into a firefight. You're coming there. You're supposed to be working for the people. You're a prosecutor. There's no evidence. There's no evidence that's been determined. Nothing has been determined. Nothing. We know nothing. Nobody has been convicted or nothing. But I want you to listen and tell me whose side this prosecutor's side is on.
Officers encountered several individuals in the vicinity of Broadway and Carteret here in the city of Newark. Based on criminal intelligence, the police were investigating the possibility that these individuals had illegal firearms.
They contacted the young individuals, and they say based on investigation and based on what they know, they thought they're super. Let me play it back. I want to get that word right that he used.
Based on criminal intelligence, the police were investigating the possibility that these individuals had illegal firearms.
The possibility that they had illegal firearms. They were investigating that they had illegal firearms.
Shots were exchanged upon interaction with the police and those individuals. And unfortunately, 2 officers and 1 suspect were hit by gunfire.
Now remember what we just read, the consent decree, where they say that this police department, because these are the people they're talking about. When they're talking about the police, what they be doing, what the police do, how they don't investigate themselves, how they internal affairs, how all of that, all internal affairs only investigated or found one case that they could really I don't even think they prosecuted that case. That was worthy. One case for either what was it, 6 years or whatever. One case. These are the people that are responsible. that you see here that are responsible for these institutions right now as we speak in 2025. These are the people responsible, all of them here, not us, and they're paid. They pay. You know how when people be like, so what are you doing? What are you doing to change stuff? I said, we're getting paid. The work we do in the community, nobody pays us. Our after-school program, everything we doing, the programs we have, nobody pays us. We fund everything ourselves. These people are getting paid to do a job. And he gets up here and he said, after their investigation, what investigation? What investigation? You under a consent decree. You're supposed to tell those people right now, because we all know you're criminals. The consent decree says you're criminals, that you oppress the community, that you can't hold yourself accountable. So you come up at the podium and you say that the police were there to do an investigation of some. Who knows what you're doing? We don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe nothing you're saying. Yo, where the police, when they came, were they in uniform? When they walked up on those kids, were they in uniform? Did those kids knew that they were in uniform? What do you say? And how did you know anything was there? You're supposed to be telling the public that. Where is the camera at? That shows everything. Because you know if they were right. If they were right, if everything was right, like they would have had a camera up there, showing everything. Look from the body camera, from this, look what they did. The police didn't even get out the car. They were just still sitting in the car. They didn't even say nothing. And they just came out, the 14-year-old just came out, just started shooting. Yo, that's not what they're doing. He's parsing his words.
What's up, Chairman?
Go ahead.
I put in the chat one of the videos where we went to a community meeting with to engage with Peter Harvey and the former public safety director. Please watch that video afterwards, because they deny that there are jump out boys, and there are reports coming out that this incident involved their jump out boys.
Yeah, but he just been speaking like a few seconds. He said the police came there because they investigated and they had suspicion that there was something there. But whatever he said.
As Rondo was shot before he even had the opportunity to leave his police car. At 2:34 this morning, he was pronounced at University Hospital here in New York. There was a second officer also shot. His injuries are expected not to be life-threatening. He is continuing to recover in the hospital. And because of that, the delicacy of that recovery, his name will not be released at this time at the request of the Newark Police Division. One gun was recovered from the suspects. Several individuals are in custody as a result of that interaction, and they're being interviewed by the police and by the Essex County Prosecutor's Office. One of the suspects is 14 years old. That juvenile has been charged with numerous crimes, including murder, attempted murder, and possession of illegal weapons. He's currently hospitalized, and it's treated also for non-life-threatening injuries. Obviously, this is a continuing investigation, so we're not going to be able to talk much more about the circumstances until the investigation continues to evolve. However, we'll say this. Obviously, any sort of a gun interaction like this is the sort of thing that happens far too often, and we need to do everything we can to make sure that we limit those and not eradicate those to the extent that we can. The thing to remember primarily is that the officers involved are heroes. They're everyday heroes that work the streets of the city of Newark and cities and municipalities like this.
He's the prosecutor. Yo, you're already making a decision up there that the police are heroes. So if the police are heroes, what's that 14-year-old child? Like, that's what you coming out to come tell the cameras, to come out there to come tell the people. You're a prosecutor going in there to go prosecute this case. You already know what side you're on. That's why they say those investigations that's done by the police are useless. They investigated themselves.
Yeah, brother, I'm going to chime in here on that.
Go ahead.
Not only, and this is part of a pattern You know, 5 years ago, and I shared this in the chat, when this cowboy, Giovanni Crespo, was on his, hype, he ready to go, knock down a member of our community. And, he, got involved in that shooting. I did a song, based off this very point, hero or not. And I was trying to urge the mayor in this song, because it was directly, sent to the mayor, like, you have to come out and show what position you are, or are you taking? Are you on the side of the people or the police? And all of the individuals that are part of the bourgeois establishment, that's their army, bro. That's their army. Like, so the mayor is the head of their army. The police, that's his arm, and these people are placed in position to regulate the people so that capitalism can continue to keep exploiting them. So that's why it's important, when you're looking at bourgeois moments like this. You feel me? This is so they can continue to appease the masses, let the masses know that there's a problem with the people, because that's what they're all aligned towards, to tell us that the people are the problem. When, I did a post about this, linking the, Newark's refusal to work with ICE. That's probably what we can speculate causing problems among the people. If you got ICE agents setting up shop in Newark, and they're doing midnight raids, and our people know about, we came from understanding what the gravy train was. When I say something to young people, you see, when I was coming up with the avenues and all them back there, we had the gravy train where they would be in 8 unmarked cars. You know what I'm saying? Late night, jumping out on individual residents. Well, how do we know ICE is not doing that? And we would know what ICE is doing had you been wise enough to work with those people, so you can start letting the people know, okay, they're looking for this person over here who committed this crime. Let's, let the people know these are targeted. This way the people won't be so agitated to possibly hold on to illegal firearms to protect themselves. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you grow up in a community where the mindset is, I'd rather be, judged by 12 than carried by 6. Most of us are going to ride that route because that's the way the people move. So I just wanted to say this is part of a pattern that has been going on for decades. So we're scratching the surface of it because the people are starting to wake up. And, and as the conditions, this is what historical materialism taught us. As the conditions worsen, that chasm grows. And I'm going to link this back to chapter 8 of the Red Book, one of my favorite chapters of the book. There are 2 principles he outlines in this text that carried with me over the years, and that's 1, preserve oneself, destroy the enemy. It's important for you to preserve your revolutionary strength, because if you diminish and decrease, then the people's instrument decreases, so that works against the people. And secondly, we don't destroy, and you said this earlier, put a pin here, and I'm glad you said that, because this was the second guiding principle that I follow. All of the enemy don't have to be destroyed. Some of those people are just getting into the force. One of those officers that got killed is 25 years old. Some of them, they're not corrupted. They're not all the way corrupted yet. That's why we don't want to destroy all of the enemy forces, because some of those people still can hear the truth. You can still get at them, and they'll lay their arms down, and you can use those arms and that human resource to advance struggle forward. So we don't want to go into this, destroying all the people, because some of those people are still on the fence. Now, when you look at somebody at the highest level, like a Baraka, you the head, you the HNIC. You know what I'm saying? So at your level of struggle, you have your responsibility to the people from that level. I may not be able to deduce it, but I do know this: when you make decisions by not coming out in issues that are important to the people, then you are showing your card, and we can look at those red flags and say that's a violation. Because there's no way in the world we should have a candidate like a Yolanda Johnson and I'm glad she joined in tonight. We should not, there's no way the people shouldn't be galvanizing and mobilizing behind this grassroots candidate. And this is how we strike at the system. You got 16-year-olds that are going to be participating in this election. We need those people to understand that we are the voice of the people. This is our candidate, and we all have to champion these candidates. That's the strike at the system, getting rid of their bourgeois candidates and getting our candidates in who are going to speak for us because they come and they represent us. I'm going to always be on the side of the people.
All power to the people. All power to the people. But this, now, no, like even what you were talking about with the book, you said when we on the front lines, when you defeat the enemies, you pick up their weapons. Like when we dealing with the police department, the way you defeat the police department, I'm gonna get to that after they finish speaking. I'm gonna go in depth on it. The more you deal with this, the way you deal with these people is by going out to organize the community. Once the community like shun these people and they don't respect these people, they don't look at these people as authority figures, and they have another institution to put their trust in, and they don't no longer see these people as viable. That's how you defeat them. And those police officers that are new, that just came in, once you have something that they can go to, because they're only here for a paycheck. That's why people sign up to be a cop. Ain't nobody trying to be a cop to go out there and catch bullets with their teeth, to go save nobody. People got to pay bills. So to them, like becoming a cop is a stable job. They just go to work. If you show them there's another option, there's another way to be able to pay their bills, to be successful, you will pull some of them away because it's an incentive thing. People not born like to be like this. It's all about incentives. I mean, if they wasn't getting that paycheck, to be a police officer, after a couple of years, they're making over $100,000. That means they're making like 3 times what the people in Newark, the average Newark resident, is making. So like, there's a reason for them to be there. And then they get access. They make connections. They looked at. Once you're a cop, you walk around in those circles and you look like you're a respectable person. People respect you. Like that's the facade that they have put out there about what being a cop is. That these jobs are respectable jobs when they're really terrorizing the community. But it got to be another option. We got to organize for another option. If we don't, they're going to keep going here and thinking that's where they're supposed to be at. And like Miles said, once you defeat them, once we've defeated them and we've made them to look like who they are to the community members, to the people we are trying to organize, and we are all walking the same way, thinking the same way, and like nobody calls them for nothing. We police in our own communities because it can be done. None of this is something that hasn't been done before. If we organize the community and everybody's going along with what we're doing, we can police our own communities. There's no need for these people. There's no need for them. But we got to organize our communities first. And then we could pull with any of them that's willing to come serve the people, you could pull them in. I mean, because it's not the individual, it's the system that we have a problem with. I don't care how many good cops you put in there. You put 10 good cops in there, you got, in that system, you got 10 bad cops.
Can I add something without state, within this nation. So they continue to be individuals who are worthy to be in our prayer and our thoughts, to support them to the extent that we can.
He talking about the police, to support the police. That's what we was talking about just now.
Despite everything that goes on and difficulties, we continue to be buoyed by the interactions and collaborations we have, the individuals who Ms. Martin met.
Go ahead. You want to say something, Captain Patience?
This before you had restarted, but yeah, I just wanted to add that we do have to pay attention to the power of propaganda and the language being used in cases like these, because the same thing happened with the Rodwell brothers case. Like, they will spin a narrative and control what's being said until the body cam footage actually comes out. And it's very important to pay attention to that, because so many people on social media automatically are siding with the police simply because of the titles and headlines already being put out, this press conference already out, all of these things out without actually knowing what actually happened, because none of us were actually there. They refused to actually release the body cam footage. So many people will sympathize with the police and not the 14-year-old boy who's also injured. And it's just, yeah, like I said, we really have to be able to control the narrative and get that message out.
All power to the people. No, and that's true. That's true. Everything they're doing here is controlling the narrative. Everything they're doing is controlling the narrative. That young child probably don't have no lawyer right now. Those people that they have in custody that they're questioning, they don't have no lawyer. They don't have the ability to do press conferences to get their message out there. So that's true. I mean, what they're doing right here, they're not serving the people. They're controlling the narrative.
By name, we want to thank them for their continued support. Through those collaborations that were able to move as quickly as we can. It was an effort. I was with the team that was doing the investigation. It took 3 hours this morning, and trust me, just about everybody behind me was here throughout that endeavor as well. And it shows their dedication to make sure that we keep the streets as safe as possible, that we bring perpetrators to justice, and we do everything we can to keep the public safe.
You heard what he just said. What perpetrators to justice? How do you know who's the perpetrator? How do you know that police wasn't wrong? What perpetrators? You the prosecutor. You the one with the law degree. You coming up here and all you're doing is making a case for the police. That's what you're doing up here. Every single one of them. So which one of them is serving the community? Which one of them have gone to see that 14-year-old child that's in the hospital shot up to find out what happened? Because under the consent decree, none of these people back there should be taking the words of the police. They shouldn't be. According to the consent decree, they shouldn't be. But they're all taking the word of the police while that 14-year-old child is in the hospital. And that's what we care about.
This time I'd like to introduce the director of the North Police, actually public safety director. I'm sorry, he got a promotion. He is the public safety director, Manuel
Miranda. Listen to what he said. Public safety. Who is he supposed to be looking out for? Is his job to look out for the 14-year-old, or is his job to look out for the police officer? Those are questions we need to ask ourselves. Who are these people working for? So when he step up there and he's all sad, let's find out who he's sad for. The people under a consent decree or a 14-year-old child?
1 second, Chairman.
Go ahead.
The police department has their union. They have their own spokespeople. The public safety director is supposed to be the spokesperson for the people, the community. But so like Chairman said, who is he working for?
Let's see what community he's talking about.
Right now, our agency is hurting. We lost a true hero last night. He was part of an intelligence unit in the Merck Police Division. He's been on the job for 5 years. He's been a detective for the last 2 years. Since being promoted to detective, he was assigned to the intelligence unit. The intelligence unit works in collaboration with the U.S. Attorney's Office, with our federal partners, county and state partners. Last night, there was a team effort between our federal partners and our North Police Division that were working last night to capture an individual who they believe had a weapon. As the prosecutor stated, he didn't even get a chance to stop.
So public safety. This is the director of public safety. He's a Spanish person. So public safety, what are we going through in North? Public safety. What are we going through? What are the people, the residents in North going through? I'm going to start throwing stuff out. There's gentrification. Gentrification. Can't nobody afford a place to stay out here. Do you think that has anything to do with public safety? People need 2-3 jobs to be able to pay rent out here, which means they're not home to educate, to watch their children, to raise their children. Do you think that has anything to do with public safety? The poverty rate that's higher than anywhere in the country, somebody can mute themselves. Do you think that has anything to do with public safety? The only thing that you believe, General Secretary, who that?
try to do.
I'm working
You know
on
what
it.
I mean? Here's the list. You know, like, you know, and they really fucking gave me 3 fucking problems.
So who is he working for? Who is the public safety guy working for? So to them, this is what, as the police department, to them, what they put their investigators, all those different units in, what they put their resources, and they get these units to go in and investigate and police the individual people, the children in the community, instead of dealing with all the things that caused a child 14 to probably allegedly have a gun on him, because we don't know. We don't know if he had the gun on him, if he shot the gun. First they say it's 29 shots, now it's 18 shots. We don't know what's going on. First they said he was dead, now he's alive. I mean, we don't know what's going on. They're lying. And it's already been proven that they're liars. That's why they're on a consent decree. That's why they're being monitored. This police department. So what they focus all the energy and all the resources in is in policing the people, not trying to fix the structures, the institutions that are in the community exploiting the people. And then he come up here and act like he's doing something for the people. They have not said anything that they're doing up there that's for the people that live in the community. Everything they've said is how they've been intrusively policing our communities. For the landlords, the slumlords, the banks, the corporations, all the entities that fund their campaigns and that fund them. That's the only those are the people that they protect. That's who they serve. But I haven't heard them say this is the no way.
Out of the vehicle before each stop. So our hearts are heavy. We're leaning on one another for support. We're going to be there for the family. The family was there like they had a weapon.
Watch Rob Baraka's face shaking it when he said he shot him before he came out the car. So they're trying to give the perception that this kid is just a wild kid that just got a gun and he just saw somebody coming out the car and he just shot at him. Because I guarantee you, I bet you $1. We're going to do some trading places here. I bet you $1 when they come out, they didn't have no uniform on. I bet you $1 that they just jumped out on this young boy. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. I bet you $1 that they were plain clothes. They looked like anybody else out there. They probably had on hoodies. Looked like some wild ants jumped out the car. And the boy didn't know.
They say they had on ski masks.
Oh,
That's
my
what
goodness.
the streets are saying.
But you know what? The sad thing about it is that it won't even matter in the end because, you know, this happened to Danette Daniels on the corner of Chadwick and Clinton. You know, when, you know, Robert Leaks had her handcuffed in the back seat of the squad car when he, you know, opened fire on her. You know, he claimed she jumped in the front seat and tried to pull off in the squad car. They towed the car from the scene of the crime with the body in it. Like, when you say corrupt, bro, these people are prepared to do whatever they have to do to protect the narrative they need to spin.
No, but check this out though. Yo, we don't do these shows, bro. Like, even if you do a show, bro, you start doing the show, I'm going to come on your show. I'm going to come there to watch you. I'm going to support your show. Yo, we don't start doing shows to get out the people's voices, to get what the people are really thinking, how the people really feel. Yo, this is the only narrative that's out there. Yo, if you look...
You said that. I do a show on TikTok right now, Black Eagle Patriot News Bite. Like, we talk about a lot of the political issues on both the national, the state, and the local level. You feel me? So definitely, I'm gonna send you the links. I'm gonna send patience. I'm gonna send you the links.
Yeah.
But definitely, you got to come on the show so we can talk.
Nah, of course. Yo, anybody doing any show, I don't care. Yo, we have to get our voice out there. If we don't get our voice out here, their narrative is going to be the only narrative that the people hear. And we can't have that, because this influences people. This makes people think, yo, you know what? Yo, they coming in the hood and they trying to make sure they remove guns from the hood. Yo, that's a good thing. When people don't understand, yo, the guns in the hood are a symptom of the poverty in the hood. Because if there wasn't poverty there, if you don't have to be in gangs, because I grew up in
right.
If I grew up in North, I've been to prison, I've been to every institution. If you're not in a gang on the streets as a kid, if you don't have a turf or belong to anything, you're going to be bullied by the other kids. You're going to have to survive, try to find a way to survive. It's savage the way they have our children living on the streets. For a kid to walk around thinking they got to have a gun on them, there's a reason for that. People don't just walk around with guns on them. There's a reason. Yo, even when I was younger, my friends walked around with guns on them. When I was a kid. Yo, I never carried a gun because I knew I would use it. I knew I would use it, and I understood the ramifications that came behind that. Like, I learned that at an early age. Yo, most children don't have the ability to think like that. But I grew up with my father, I grew up with my mother. Yo, they instilled certain values in me because they were from a different era. They didn't grow up in North. All of this is about what you know. It's about your mindset, where you at mentally. If you don't know, if you grew up in North your whole life and you've been surrounded by these people right here, you've been surrounded by nothing, by the crime, by the poverty, by the gangs, that's all you know. You see, I was fortunate. That's not all I knew. I mean, from being 5, 6 years old, my father was telling me, like, yo, I need you to be a doctor. I still remember the conversation with my father, and he telling my little brother, and you're going to be the lawyer. And, like, giving us a roadmap. And then, like, I remember, yo, we used to have a driver that took us to school. A driver used to bring me back from school. Yo, I remember, like, we had people watching us. I didn't come home, and there was nobody home, and I was just outside when I was with my father, and I was just outside, playing outside all day. Nobody cared about me, helped me do my homework. Like, I was just a latchkey baby. That ain't how I grew up. I grew up with structure. We can't even afford that in our communities. Because if you're a single mother, you cannot afford to provide structure because you got to be at work. I know parents. We work with their children. We take their children to school. We pick them up. We take them home when the mother just coming home. Yo, she just worked 16 hours. She just worked 10 hours, 12 hours. She dead tired. Coming home to like 3, 4 kids. She got to go fix them something to eat and then go to sleep for the next day. How is that mother going to be able to discipline those kids, to sit down with all of them and teach them how to read, do their homework? Yo, it's impossible in the day, bruh. I'm not off that. I don't want to hear it. They go to work all day, then they come home, and I see these mothers use that same car after they go in and cook food. They go do Lyft. They go do Uber. They go do Grubhub. That's the reality that we living in. And then you expect these people to also educate their kids, to also watch them around this whole surrounding of violence, of negativity. You expect that parent to do all of that. And the people that are getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, they wash their hands of the situation and they blame it on the people while they uphold their criminal agency. That's what we're dealing with in North. Listen to them speak. Let me hear you. Tell me if they're talking about the residents of North in anything that they're talking about. They hate the residents of North.
As the prosecutor ended, he didn't even get a chance to step out of the vehicle before he was still up. So our hearts are heavy. We're leaning on one another for support. We're going to be there for the family. The family was there last night. His mother and his father and approximately 5 brothers were at the hospital mourning him, grieving him. We're going to be issuing a statement on funerals for the future and pay him the respect that he deserves. He was a true hero. Not only is agency this morning, our community this morning also. We've been getting phone calls since last night from all our community leaders. Our Office of Violence Prevention Program was out there with us.
Office of Violence Prevention was out there. Hey, Secretary General, did the mother say anybody came to see her?
No, she didn't, but she said she's going to call me after she sees her son in the hospital.
Oh, she's going to go see him? Because like, that's another thing that we didn't say. Yeah, we went out there, we did our investigation, we found the family. You know how we found the family? Because of the work that we've been doing in the community. Yo, her nephew was on our basketball team probably like 10 years ago. She knew of us. We out here looking. I'm out there. I'm reading their reports. We doing investigation. We going up and down the street trying to find out what happened. We already knew her already. We could have just called from our home. See, but on Friday we didn't know. We didn't know who it was. But when you're doing the work on the ground, when you've been serving the community for so long, when you're doing this work, it's natural that you know the people in the community because you're in the community. So we went to go speak to her. Nobody, the Office of Violence Prevention, no organization. All these organizations that be in the community saying they're doing work for the community, none of them have gone to go see her or that 14-year-old boy to find out what happened. That's not what we do as Panthers. As Panthers, we live and die for the people. We're always on the side of the people. Tomorrow, they say 30 cops died. And they say 3 boys or 1 boy or 1 girl, little girl, shot them. Where are we going as Black Panthers? We're going to the people. We're going to that child to find out what's going on with that child. But we can't even go see the child. The mother could barely go see the child. The mother had to try to find a lawyer for her to be able to go see her child. But they done shot up. They shot him up. Because when the prosecutor talked briefly, like he's in the hospital with non-threatening life. He had to go to surgery. He had to go to surgery. I think this morning, she said they were taking him to surgery. But they're not talking about none of that. They're here to tell the public that the police didn't do nothing wrong. They were risking their life to protect the community. When we all know they're not here to protect us. They've never protected the community. Show me one officer that ever bit a bullet with his teeth. Stop the crime. Show me. Get in front, ain't none of that. They don't do none of that here. All they do is tax the residents to pay themselves. That's all they do.
Supporting us. We have our peer-to-peer support out there, assisting our officers. They were there last night, supporting our officers along with Fraternal Order of Police and the Superior Officers Association.
You hear that? Everybody's out there supporting the officers. Who's out there for the people? I keep asking that question. They've been speaking for a minute now. There's nobody here that says anything that cares about the people in the community, the taxpayers, the residents.
So I ask the community to please keep the family in their prayers and to keep the agency in your prayers. You're grieving, you're hurting, and
keep them, the police, in your prayers. Keep the police families in your prayers. Nothing about that boy, nothing about the family. Who are you up there helping? Who are you getting paid to support? Who are you getting paid to work for? It don't sound like it's the community. Nothing that they've done so far. My list keep getting ashier and ashier. I might need some Vaseline or something. I just took a look up. Boy, thing was ashy, but
we have to be here for one another. I want to thank our medical partners who were here from last night also, as I mentioned, all the special agents in charge of the FBI, the DEA, ATF, and the Homeland Security, the County Prosecutor's Office, the U.S. Marshal. Nobody went home. And to everybody.
You hear that? Look at all those resources that they brought together. How much money was that? Nobody went home until what? Until what? Y'all got the 14-year-old boy, y'all shot him up so he didn't get away. Y'all shot him up and locked him up. Now y'all locked up 5 other people. So you telling me all those 5 people, the other people that y'all locked up, 4 or 5, that y'all locked up, they always shooting at the police too? They all charged with murder? Or you're trying to intimidate all of them to try to find a way to pin everything on that little boy? I believe they went and raided the family. I heard they went and raided the family, grandmother's house. All of that is intimidation tactics. They mad, so now they're going to just go around brutalizing people.
Chairman, they did the same thing to the Rodwell Spivey family.
Exactly. They keep the Secretary General and Captain Patience. This is the second time she said they did the same thing to the Rodwell brothers, because that was the last case that we were involved in. The Rodwell and Spivey brothers, where the police came in front, they said they looked like they were committing a crime. Went over, they said that they had guns, brutalized the brother, locked him up for months. They went to court. They didn't do none of that. After years, they lost jobs, lost relationships, lost time with their family, everything, to find out that these people lied. That's why they were on the consent decree. This a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. These people are lying sociopaths. There's nothing that they're saying that you can believe. And that's not what I'm saying. That's what the consent decree is saying. Because if you get mad at me like, yo, Africa over here bad mouthing the police, yo, it's in the consent decree.
It was captured. So I appreciate that effort. I appreciate all their help. And just continue to pray for this agency, officers, our detectives, and the family. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You just mentioned something very important. The City of Newark has an Office of Violence Prevention and Prevention. I'm sure I have the name slightly wrong, but the mayor will correct me.
Office of Violence Prevention. That's the mayor. He's telling you. He's telling you the mayor has those are the mayor's organizations. He's telling you. Like, he's the prosecutor. You're not smart enough to understand that in itself is illegal. That the mayor to have organizations that funds are going through. Funds are going through for him to to work on him becoming mayor, becoming governor, because that's what those organizations do. They don't stop no violence. They don't prevent no violence. They're not working on nothing that really prevents anything. They do nothing. And I know people work there and they be thinking like these jobs that they work at, that's a representation of dumb and stuff. So they gotta try to like speak up and whatever. Yo, if you work for the government, if you work down at City Hall, yo, you're part of the problem too. Like, I'm sorry to tell you. Because their job is not to serve the people. The mayor's job, the council people, they're not here to serve the people. Any institution that they put together, any organization they put together is to serve themselves. And that in itself is illegal, to take federal dollars, to take money, to give it to those organizations. It's illegal because they're not out here solving nothing. They do no violence prevention. They prevent nothing. All they do is snitch. They're snitches. That's what they're going to tell you. They help them. They give them valuable information. Because you're a snitch. It's a snitching factory. It's a snitching convention. That's what your meetings are. Y'all snitches, bro. And I ain't making that up. That's what it is.
And Chairman, all the snitching they do, like you said, it doesn't prevent anything.
Nothing.
It doesn't stop anything.
Nothing. They got that boy shot.
I also want to point out how slick and sickening these people are. That prosecutor sat up there to boost the mayor up, talking about this anti-violence thing. Like, this is no time to boost the mayor up. A 14-year-old is in trouble. Somebody died. Why are you trying to boost the mayor up?
Because they're all politically connected. They're all working together. All of them.
The key part is that this is an entity which is an official part of the City of Newark.
He's talking about the Anti-Violence Coalition.
Which is an official part of the City of Newark. They interact with the public and offers all sort of information and assets between law enforcement and the community.
Yeah, that's what Newark Anti-Violence Coalition do. Just because they have that name, that doesn't mean that's what they serve. Yo, they're a wing of the police. They in our communities to get information. Yo, they'll do things like gun buyback. Yo, they got places, they got factories where they set up where people to come turn themselves in. What kind of activists, revolutionaries have snitching factories and places to turn yourself into the government? But these people call themselves activists and revolutionaries to tell our people in the community to go turn themselves into a government that's been oppressing them forever. And you see the consent decree. They tell the people to go turn themselves into the same police that's abusing them. That's not what we do as Panthers. I'm going to get into it in a second, what we do as Panthers, what we believe.
The North Police Division has benefited from it as the prosecutors, also that the entire community has. And that is...
What community? The community has not benefited from anything that the Anti-Violence Coalition is doing. Who, that 14-year-old boy has benefited? His mother benefited? The community has benefited nothing. The only people that benefit is the people that work there that are getting a paycheck and the mayor, because he's using them to act like they're doing something in the community. And if there's no other voices out there like this that's challenging what they're doing, the narrative, people going to believe that these people are doing something.
It's really actually a brainchild of Mayor Baraka, and so I'd like him to come forward on behalf of the residents of the city.
We told you, Anti-Violence Coalition is the brainchild of the mayor. That's the mayor's coalition. He's just telling you, they're just committing crimes right in public.
First, I just want to thank the Newark Police Division, Public Safety, Fire and Well.
Thank the police, thank public safety. Let's go. Where you going to get to the people?
Police officers, I want to thank all my partners here, the prosecutor's office, our public safety director and chief, all the work that they did, Officer Miles, we brought people to justice this morning.
You hear that? Office of Violence Prevention. Make sure you help bring these people to justice. So what side are these people? What side are they on? What side are the violence prevention people on? If you see these people in the community and you talk to them, you part of the problem. It don't matter if they pay you to work there. Like, I'm sorry. Like, some people feel bad. Like, he's a cop. He was only 26 years old. He was born in Newark. He got a family, y'all. We all got families, my children will never be cops. I'll never be a cop because I understand that system oppresses the people. So I'll never be a cop. So whether you do it willingly or like you know what you're doing when you join the police department, or you don't know, the results at the end is the people are being oppressed. And I can just let you go all free, scot-free, and not hold you accountable for joining a terrorist organization that's exploiting the people. You telling me like the people that join don't know or haven't seen what the police have been doing for decades? Nobody seen, like they didn't see George Floyd. They didn't see everything that happened in Newark. They didn't see what happened with Dorsey when on New Year's Eve the police killed them for nothing. They didn't see the Rodwell brothers. They didn't see nothing. You don't know nothing about the police at 26 years old, and you've been working there for 6 years. You don't see inside of the police department corrupt because they know they're corrupt. But now I should feel bad. But he's been getting a paycheck for work for an organization that's corrupt. I should feel bad.
Chairman, it's also being reported out there that Trump may release Chauvin, the murderer of George Floyd. So when we talk about the police and the courts and the president and your council people, they're all connected and they all support each other, and they even support somebody like Chauvin, because these same police officers support Chauvin. And the politicians support the police because they are the biggest donors to their campaign. So when any politician come in your face, especially the black ones that be talking black this, black that, they support the police that terrorizes you and your communities.
Well, you finished comment for a second, General Secretary? Nah, but you're 100% correct. But I'm going to stop it there. We don't need to keep listening to it. We already know what's going on. So look, as Panthers, even reading this book, studying all the books and everything that we're doing, go ahead, put it back to where it was. As Panthers, we don't believe in the government. We don't believe in the electoral process. That's not politics. Politics is a struggle for resources. I hope Yolanda is still here, because after this, I want Yolanda to tell us, this is a community. As Panthers, we don't believe anything we do in there, no matter who we put in there, is going to change anything. Because from our history as black people in this space, in this country, it don't matter how many politicians went in there. Imperialism functions to oppress the people. If you go in there trying to fight against that, they're gonna either kill you or they're gonna push you out. I mean, like that's how we look at it. But even if you go in there, no matter what you do, that's not changing what imperialism has erected all these institutions to maintain. From the police department, from the school system, from City Hall, from all the institutions that they have erected. over hundreds of years to maintain the society that they're in. Electoral politics is not an option at all. To us, we believe the only option is going to organize the people in the community to take control of their lives, which means walking away from these institutions, creating their own institutions. Period. That's the only work we should be doing starting yesterday. I've known Yolanda for over a decade.
Chairman, 1 second. She's at work. She's listening in, so I guess
Oh.
Chime in when she can. But
no problem. She can tell me when she can. But what you call it? Bernard, you could go ahead and try to answer for her if you can, whatever. But to us as Panthers, electoral politics and their social construct of what politics is, it's not politics. It's a fraud. It's a social construct. It's a lie. You will never get no accountability participating in those spaces, running for office. That's what we believe as Panthers. So if you there, Bernard?
I wanted to chime in this respect. I was doing some research on the entire when the Kuomintang linked forces during what did they call it, the Second United Front, when the Japanese were moving in, and Mao had to make that decision to work with individuals in opposing ideologies in order to ward off a common threat that was advancing against them. And I do see the contradiction present when it comes to working within political campaigns. I do see the contradictions. They're glaring. You got, but let's also look at what Mao taught us in terms of the importance of linking with individuals, even if those alliances are temporary, to ward off larger threats, giving the people more breathing room against the giant Goliath that we're dealing with. So let's look at, our sister Yolanda. When we first linked and talked, her candidacy for the Newark School Board, and I just, got finished, working with two other comrades, from a media perspective. That's my role in this process. But when Che Coulter and, Muta El-Amin ran for the school board, these individuals represent, grassroots efforts, and we talked about this earlier in terms of, how it's important to identify people who work within the establishment who are still open and can hear the message of truth coming from the people's army, so to speak. We know that Mayor Baraka in Newark, New Jersey, let's just keep it a buck. He got from what I discovered through engaging in propaganda, he owns 13,000 votes. When we wrap our head around what that means, we talking about, this is Xerxes with an army of 13,000 people behind him. So Xerxes has an army of 13,000, and some of us, let's say you, Africa, you represent Leonidas with 300 that got to go up against 13,000. How do we get? See, that's the level of struggle we have to get to that level of struggle where the people got 13,000 votes. They're also they also created legislation within the city to allow 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds to participate in the vote. So if they have the principals in the schools, because one principal I can think of right off the bat that I worked with, Gwyneth Flanoy, she runs university. That's Aziz's wife. who is Raz's second-hand man. Like, when you have infrastructure like that, so you have generations of children that you now can indoctrinate into that bourgeois thinking, generational wealth, and focus on, getting out of the community.
Where's he work at?
He works at City Hall. He's in charge of housing.
And his wife is where?
And his wife is Bonique Flanoy, who is the principal at University, high school in Newark.
So all these jobs is basically displaced out to their friends, associates, wives, and families.
Well, that's the game, bro. Like, we got to know that.
No. That's what, I know that.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what we up against. You feel me? So the point is, when we are organizing on a grassroots level, it is moments like this where we have to pool forces and we got to get Yolanda on the school board. We got to get her on the school board because she's part of the people, and getting that voice on the school board. So that means one of the people on one of them teams got to be they got to lose that election.
All power to the people. So check it out, right? So that's a great. You know what? That's a great analogy. Hey, yo, before I even say what I got to say, all power to the people, Pastor Keith. Hey, yo, listen though. I feel some type of way. Yo, Pastor Keith is a revolutionary pastor that got to church, and he's doing good work out here. So I got to shout him out.
All power.
I'll be mad, bro, because, you see the ball head, you running around here rocking them braids and everything out here. Yo, can I get some over here, bro? Hey, can I get some hair over here?
Listen, Chairman. I'm gonna cut some off.
Don't cut it off. You good, baby. I just wanted to say hi. I want to say hi to you, man. But
awesome. Listen, Chairman. I want you to come. I want you to come and let's do again, as you said. I want you to do. Let's do a podcast. I want you to share these things to a larger audience. I just talked about a lot of these things this Sunday morning.
All power to the people.
But, they're getting ready to close. They're getting ready to close. Last two of the biggest hospitals in Chester was getting ready to close because of the imperialists and the capitalists, and because of these petty bourgeoisie Negroes that's been letting it happen year by year. So now it's a crisis, and in a few days they get ready to close two hospitals.
Listen, give me 2 weeks in advance, and we did. The Secretary General is going to reach out to you. 2 weeks in advance, and we did. So let me go back. Hey, Bernard, let's bring it back. Let's bring the beat back. Let me bring the beat back. Hey, yo, as Panthers, what we believe is Yolanda should be the head of our school board. Hey, yo, that school board is not our school board, dog. Yo, that school board, that city council, all of those government spaces, those are not our spaces. If we want our own spaces, we have to organize to get those spaces. But any energy, wait a second, any energy at all wasted, well, I don't want to say wasted because those seem like harsh words, whatever, but any energy used towards entering their institutions, their school boards, because all of it is theirs. There's no way we're going in there and even if we have all the seats, we're not taking over. Either they're going to kill us, they're going to remove us, or they're going to find something to do that we're not in charge of them schools because it's their schools. We want our own. No, you can speak. You want our
Guaranteed. You know why? Because the life of the revolutionary is a doomed life. We know this. That's the science we're dealing with. Those are the contradictions. That's why Leonidas was so effective.
You don't go in the lion's den. You don't walk in the lion's den and be like, yo, I'm a revolutionary. I'm going to go in the lion's den. I'm going to say like, I'm trying. No, you fortify your own fort and you build you build your own schools and you fortify your fort and let them come to you instead of going inside their den. And then everybody that goes inside of there has no choice but to acquiesce to how that system works. And then later on, we be like, damn, yo, you know what? Yeah, the system don't work. We can't go through the system. Yo, we don't believe in the system. I
agree. I agree with you fundamentally. Mm-hmm. And hear me out. If we were to build the People's School Board, right?
Yeah.
Hear me out. Let's say we built a People's Board where we have our own representatives elected by our people. So that shadow board that we create, our infrastructure, right? And, let's say Yolanda Johnson represents our camp of thinking, and we're able to use her to position ourselves, because we're going to have to take, quote unquote, their infrastructure over, because that's our goal. Our goal is to take over. So if we want to take over, like we said, but that's what I'm trying to say.
You don't need to go take their building to take over. It's our kids. The school, 13th Avenue, University, Sussex Ave, all those schools are buildings. We can educate our children in our own building. We need not waste our energy, go get their building. See, this is where, we can philosophically disagree. It's okay. But
that's what these discussions are about.
Exactly. But philosophically, after all the evidence, after all the years, the decades, hundreds of years, in attempts to go into their institutions and take them over, it has proven not to work. But we haven't tried. What we have never tried as a people is to collectively build our own institutions.
That's why as we study Mao, and that's why I'm trying to navigate this contradiction, because we are dealing with an important contradiction. And the only way I could, bring to the conversation my understanding of the way Mao structured his unified fronts, because we are dealing with two unified fronts that represented the same, almost a similar type of contradiction we're dealing with right here. Because whereas I am taking the perspective that to galvanize and mobilize around Yolanda Johnson, who I know represents the community, and and this would be in alignment with what Mao also talked about, what we read today. There are going to be individuals who might be in the system now who hold on to, they haven't been totally compromised, because the assumption is they're going to be compromised. The assumption is when Yolanda gets into the school board, she's going to be now, socially usurped, because now you got access to, the people who with the big money. So somebody is going to come by her and say, well, here you go, Yolanda, here's, $20,000 to your organization. Like, yes, those realities are present, but that's why it's called struggle. That's why it's called struggle. So I'm saying I don't think it's.
We got to struggle in those institutions.
Say that again.
We need to struggle in those institutions.
No. What I'm saying is we are struggling to build the people's army, and in the construction of that, we might come up under circumstances where it's in our best interest to align with other organizations that we might connect with a particular idea. But when that contradiction has been settled and satisfied, now the struggle may continue. So even though Mao had to align with Chiang Kai-shek, because that's what he did. Remember, Chiang Kai-shek was invading, Mao's territory, hunting them down. You know what I'm saying? So for those two individuals to be able to come to an agreement, because the greater threat was the Japanese, what I'm proposing here is sometimes there are opportunistic realities that we have to align in order to send a stronger message. Like we're getting ready to go up against, Jack Ciattarelli, the Republican gubernatorial candidate, who is trying to invade Newark through bourgeois black folk. Gail Cheneyfield is connected with, she just announced that she's running for the city council.
One second, Bernard. Before you go any further, let's see if anybody else have any feedback or comment to the discussion you and the chairman is having.
Anybody? Go ahead.
Well, I have something to say. I think where somebody put in the chat, we should support Yolanda. We're not telling anybody not to support Yolanda. We're just explaining to you our side as a party, what we believe in, what our philosophy is when it comes to these politics and the thing. We are anti-American
government
electoral political process. We believe there's no reforming this system. You can't put somebody in there to change this system. I salute Yolanda and her activism. I see her, boots on the ground, all power to her. But us as a party, as a Black Panther party, we do not participate in the electoral political system because we believe it's a rigged system and it doesn't help the people in any way, shape, or form. But for those out there that participate in the system, and if you want to support somebody like Yolanda, more power to you. And I just wanted to put that out there.
No, yeah. Go ahead.
Can I say it like this? Then let me come at it from a different point of view. Let's say this, right? Going back to building our own infrastructure. Like we should be working on building our own board of education for the people so that, that board is identifying resources that could maybe fund all of the work you're doing. You know what I'm saying? If, an infrastructure that's run and controlled by the people. That's what I'm putting forth. Yes, I think we should begin that type of process. But at the same time we begin that type of process, I also believe we should have individuals in every discussion, every community, because the goal is to enlighten people to the truth. So I want to sit on a school board and say, listen, all of the money, this is a disruptor. All of the money, and you see, when they're discussing budgets and they're discussing the dispersion of those finances and resources, I want somebody in there that represents the people's army in the revolution to say, listen, no, y'all sitting over here talking about, so I'll be the outlying vote in every single, because most of those people are yes people. They're going to rubber stamp anything that comes down from their top down. So we have got to disrupt. That's what Che talked about in terms of, revolutionary thinking. Like we got to shake the apples out of every tree. Every tree we got to shake the apples out of. And that means I want to be in that boardroom and I want to be shaking them apples out of the tree. I want to be a contradiction because that is, it's like we're weaponizing all of the resources we have available to us to bring about the disruption of the imperial giant. So yeah, I'm picking up a rock sometimes, and Yolanda is a rock for me. Yolanda's a rock to pick up and put in that slingshot and take a shot at Goliath. Because if we could bring Goliath to his knees, he's going to drop his sword, bro. And then we're going to pick his sword up. That's what we do as, advancing this forward. And we're going to take that sword and we're going to chop his head off.
All power to the people. I think I read in the we read in the last chapter where Mao said, "Don't pick up a rock to drop it on your foot." And what I got from that, what do you mean by don't pick up? I'm not talking about what you say with Yolanda. It has nothing to do with that, because I don't want you to think I'm talking about that analogy.
Hey, brother, I know we align ideologically, so I know I can trust everything you're saying, brother. There's no shade back and forth. We just building.
Yeah, like I said, we can agree to disagree, whatever our political philosophy. Don't nobody own nobody. But at the end of the day, when Mao say that, to me it means working so hard.
Hello.
All power to the people. Who that?
How's everyone? And guys, forgive me, I'm fighting the cold, and I'm listening, but I'm kind of juggling a lot of stuff. So I'm sorry for interrupting, but I'm hearing some things that's just becoming a little alarming to me. And so first, let me say this. I love Yolanda. Her and I go back far. And I remember years ago when she was running from the school board, I grilled her. I come from a family of pastors and educators and so much more. But my point in saying that, and in me grilling her, I needed to understand if she really understood what it meant to be a school board member. And so there were things that she was able to answer, and there were things that she was not able to answer. But what I admired is that she said to me, I'm going to find it out. And she would do that. And then there were things that we would really bump heads about. So I think Yolanda is one of the most knowledgeable persons in terms of matters on school board, right? She understands so much. She understands general education. She understands student support services, Title I, or special education. She understands how dollars can be moved within the school budget, because there's ways that dollars can be moved. Special education has one of the largest budgets, and some say money should not and cannot be moved, but it can. And it can go specifically to certain areas in general education. So I'm all in for Yolanda. But I have a question for Bernard. Bernard, who I like, but and I like him. I think he's quite brilliant. But I recently unfriended him because he posted something about supporting someone for mayor, and I was like, oh, I don't even want to hear that. But I'm going to refriend him because I think he got a wake-up call, because I'm not really into always – I don't bash people. I just support who I support, and I don't need to bash anyone to support who I support. But I do have a question, and I don't know if this is the platform or we should do it offline. I'm in for it either way you go. But my question for Bernard, and I love that he is in support of Yolanda, but I'm curious to know, does he support Yolanda because of who she is, what her stance is, her knowledge, and that she's a strong person in the community, or does he support her because of who else is running that I'm with him on board with that shouldn't be running? Because we got to be careful in supporting people. We need to support them because we believe in them, right? And that our ideologies, and I'm sorry if I missaid that, again, I don't feel good, are the same, and we believe in that person. Because supporting someone just because, oh, they're running, no, I don't want them in, so I need to get behind someone else. People do that. But I believe people who run that a week are going to lose anyway. So I'm curious from Bernard, and I probably should inbox him and take his cell phone number so we can have better conversations. But what is his reason, number one, for supporting Yolanda? Number two, I'm hearing everything that everyone is saying, but please, we need to be careful to have a good balance with this, right? It's a certain aggression, and I know Africa probably should start calling him chairman, but he's like my little brother. He knows, he forgives me. He knows I'm an old person. We got to be careful with attacking things with a certain aggression, because where you will probably get some voters, you will lose a lot of voters. It just has to be and you guys have some good points, but it just has to be a good balance. If we're pushing Yolanda, which I'm all in for, right, we have to have again a really good balance. It can't be attacked with a certain aggression, because she will lose more than she gains. And then third, the pastor that was talking about the two hospitals that's closing in Chester, I would love to talk to him. I'm curious to know if he actually lives in Chester, because I have a great relationship with a youth homeless facility, Delaware County Youth Services, that I support, and I'm in the process of doing a lot of grant writing for. So if he has a connection with them, I would love to get his number and talk to him as well. So I'm going to mute. I do want to hear from the pastor and from Bernard, and thank you guys.
All power to the people. Hey, after Bernard, Pastor Keith, come on and give her the information, or we could pass her your number if you want.
Yo, sure. You can pass out my number. It's open to the public.
All power to the people. I'm gonna pass it to her. But go ahead, Bernard.
I'm gonna
bring up the mayor, right?
For me, every action, for every action is an equal and opposite reaction. And I'm about action. So the first action in responding to the sister is I'm gonna give everyone in this particular community space my phone number. So if you get a pin out, you can take this number down right now. When I'm working with the people, And anybody that has the balls to be on this podcast right now, deserve to have access to my number. And, so 201-757-2817. That's number
Got
one.
it. Okay,
So,
thank you.
So that's number one, and you can text me so that I can lock in your information, and you could start texting me as soon as I gave you the number. You can start texting me immediately. That's number one. For me, that's how revolutionaries connect. When Jesus said, drop down your net and follow, and let me make you fishers of men. That's what I just demonstrated in practice. So that's number one. Number two. I totally am only going to have these conversations where Newark is concerned through Brother Africa right now, okay? Because ultimately, everybody that want to converse with me on this kind of level got to come through Africa now. And I'm going to be clear with you. They got to come through Africa because, and I'm going to be serious, like I participate in everybody's podcast or everybody's conversation, and when people offer that's how I know Africa is real, because we engage in each other right now, and we've been engaging each other for the last 6 weeks. So I respect that, and that's what I mean when I say action motivates. So now we connected, and I told Yolanda this, and I'm not a politician, okay? So I'm not in this for money, I'm not in this for resources, I'm not in this for anything. Okay, I'm in this for the people. Okay, and that's why, I can use my voice as I choose, because I control it, and no one controls it and no one influences it. So what I'm trying to and to show Africa that commitment, when I got into it with Brother Hassan, who's part of the agent administration, we got into it, and he starts popping off about all these ideas, and you're not a revolutionary, you're not this, and you don't know this, and and I'm like, yo, all right, well, you know what, brother, let's not reinvent the wheel. Brother Africa has a whole podcast with his wife, and they have been engaging these very issues we sitting up here having an abstract conversation about. Why don't you just join me at the podcast? And he folded. The brother folded. That's what we are up against. They don't want to have these conversations. They're going to fold. So what I'm suggesting here is, when me and Yolanda connected on this level, I let her know day one, we now connected in this enterprise for life. These aren't temporary alignments that I'm involved in where the people are concerned. So that's why I said to her, no, I'm not just thinking about this particular election, which comes out, we finishes April 15th. We'll know who's going to be on the school board. And yeah, those corporate giants may win, but the point is, we have somebody in the election who is bringing the issues that are important to us to the forefront. That's the goal of this alignment. But because we are all part of the grassroots in Newark, it's important for us to align with each other, because the larger giant, the Republican giant in the room, those are the ones we got to go at. And to do that effectively, aligning with Yolanda makes revolutionary sense. That's what I'm trying to articulate. Like, we're connecting with Yolanda because what we can do is we could build that infrastructure right now, where we have our own board of education built from the people in our community right now. So and the organizations that are part of our umbrella, your boxing group, the garden work that y'all are doing, the work Yolanda's doing with her organization, Parents Educating Parents, which she's been running in the city for, as long as I can remember. So what I'm saying to you is, all of the work we're doing, that's why when you said you got access to the people, well, that's the same. We are all working on different fronts where we have access to the people so that we can get the record straight and produce the truth. So what I'm saying is, if we had our own board, let's put Yolanda as the head of our school board. She's the head of the People's School Board, and then we put a school board together with. We put a school board together with our own board. So then she's really a representative of our board working with them. She's our ambassador working with them.
Got you, Bernard. Hey, yo,
Okay, can I just say this real quick, and I apologize for interrupting, Africa. Bernard, I appreciate your response, right? But let me just go on the record because I like to be clear. Are we all still here?
No, we still here, Deborah.
Oh, okay, good. I like to be clear. I'm not a party supporter or a line supporter. I support whoever I believe in, right? And I don't care what party you belong to. There are a lot of people in this administration, and I want to be clear that I do support, right? And I believe a strong candidate should be able to mix with everyone. Whether you agree or not, you can coexist with them, you can get along with them. And that's how I look at Yolanda. I'm not looking at Yolanda to separate herself from anyone in the administration. That's me. I'm looking for her to get in there, to be able to gel with them, to be able to work with them, that she has a level of respect for them, and they have a level of respect for her. That's me. I'm not looking at the separation. I understand that maybe with the Panther Party, that's typically how, what is the word I'm looking for? That's typically your stance and what you go on. But you know what? That's okay, too, because it takes all mix of people to make things good, right? It does. But for me and my support of Yolanda, who I 100% support, I am not looking for no separation with her, right? Of course, she can speak about what, and I wish she could get on because it would just be great to hear from her and what she feels. So, Yolanda, I did text you. I know you said you got headphones on and you're listening. You may be able to go into a corner and speak. So if you can do that, it would be good to just hear from you.
Yeah, bro, we're over the time this week. Hey, yo, but look,
got you.
No, but hey, yo, look, we talk here. Yolanda is welcome back next week if she wants to come. Like that, yeah, that gives her more time. The question the question that about that we don't believe in the political, the electoral politics. Yo, that gives her enough time to put something.
Okay.
Yeah, put something together, and I would love for you to come. And we ain't got to wait for the whole process. We're gonna right from the beginning, Yolanda. If you could hear me, we're just gonna go straight into it. We're gonna just go into the conversation. Like if you came next week Sunday, we're gonna go straight into the conversation, whatever, on what you want to do for the community. I mean, we believe in ideological struggle here. You know, there's no attack. I mean, like real talk, like even to where I'm at, where we Panthers now, where I don't believe in the electoral process. You know, I worked for Ras Baraka a couple of years ago when I wasn't at this space I was in. Yeah, I believed in the electoral process. I was over there with him. And Bernard, you was talking about how they have 13,000. Yo, I literally saw how they do it. How they have they have all these numbers on like a tablet on their phones, and these are the numbers that they go to in every single neighborhood, election after election. They go get them, put them in cars for them to go vote for them. They got this stuff already sold out. I mean, so like, if somebody coming in with no money, with no infrastructure, it's almost damn near impossible to defeat them because they got the game rigged. Yo, I was there. I mean, so like, yo, I want Yolanda to come and give whatever her spiel on why the people should vote for her. I mean, just because we don't believe in electoral politics, that don't mean we're not telling you what to do. You do what you, what you feel you need to do. All power to the people, man. And I want her to take that time next week because you're not really talking to me. I believe what I believe. You're talking to the people out there that haven't picked a side yet. I mean, you talk to them, and the work that you do with the Panthers, if you're good with the Black Panther Party, yo, the people love the Panther Party. Yo, last night when we went to see that mother, that her 14-year-old is in the hospital, that got shot by the police. Yo, what did they say, General Secretary? They're like, who you?
Yeah, they was like, who you?
Somebody, as soon as we walked in, it was a couple of us that walked in. They looked up like, yo, who you? And then when the mother was like, nah, they're with the Black Panther Party. Yo, we know them. They do work in the community. As soon as she said Black Panther Party, or everybody was like, oh, yeah, we with that. We with the Black Panther Party. Yeah, they need to be here. Yo, they gave us their numbers. They told us that we about to go to a meeting. They're having a family meeting today to figure out how they're going to get a lawyer to defend that young boy. And we going over there to go find out how we can assist them. So whatever they need, we already told them we there with them. I mean, but we don't know their political affiliation. We don't know they're Republican, Democrat, if they're going to vote, they're not. I mean, but since they see the work we do, they support us. And if they listen to you and they hear you and they're like, yeah, we support her, they're going to go support you. And we don't have no problem with that. Real talk. I mean, when you get in there, like you said, like now Yolanda gets in office, she's working in there, and now we building a alliance between us. I mean, like we helping her down here, she doing her thing in there, whatever. But it can be done. But we got to get out of here. We don't went over the time. Yo, till next time, all power to the people. I live for the people. I die for the people.
Wait, before we go, can I just have a minute? I'm so sorry. So, guys, everyone that's listening and that's on this podcast real quick, one of the things that I work with patients in Africa are the kids. I'm just overwhelmed at the great work they do for these kids. And they know they can call me about anything concerning the most vulnerable, kids, homelessness, and seniors. That's my thing. So right now the kids need uniforms, sweatpants, and I guess it's for the sports that they do. So I want to challenge everyone. I'm going to send my $50 now to her Cash App. Maybe they can pin the Cash App. And I'm hoping everyone can match that donation. Or whatever you donate, I will match, whether it's $20 or $30. So please, everyone, can we just do this and just support the kids? I got to run, too, because my phone is burning up. I just wanted to put that out there real quick. And thank everyone.
Cash App in the group chat.
Thank
you
you
so much, Deborah.
Yes, ma'am. Talk later, guys.
Yeah, so next time, more power to the people. I live for the people. I die for the people.